Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our world of darkness. These pre-recorded sessions are going up every month or so, and are being run by our illustrious DM, Lance. But before we get started, just a few quick reminders. As always, all of our video content winds up on our YouTube channel, so be sure you head over there, hit like and subscribe, turn on all the little bell notifications, and you will always know when we put new content up. We've got a lot out there. This campaign, the other pre-recorded campaigns we're doing, our live campaign, which is running, hopefully at this point. Everything that we do does wind up over there. So if you haven't already, make sure that you are supporting the YouTube side of our streaming endeavors as well. Keeping up with our weekly schedule, be sure you go over to our Discord server. We use that to keep you guys up to date on what our current schedule is. I'm not going to go through it because I don't know what the schedule looks like when you're watching this one. But the Discord server will have that. There is a pinned channel there is a channel with a pinned entry that will always tell you what our weekly schedule is going to be. So be sure you are checking that out. That's all the time I'm going to take for announcements, so I will turn it over to Lance for tonight's session. Lance, take it away.
All right. Does anyone remember what happened last time?
It was a condo sale.
We visited the
You're not wrong.
adamantine arrow, and we learned all about the adamant way, and then they did some kind of churchy culty thing, which was a little bit weird.
Was a little strange.
And
Felt like
learned all
fireside
about their
chat.
5 sort of tenets, which Stephanie is very invested in real life, but Piper doesn't care. And it was mostly learning about that, and then we were, I think, going to meet more people.
We also had the individual,
Yes.
because
and
Silver Ladder
meetings.
reached out to me, and
I met some strange man in a park. Do not do.
Who left a strange note and on
Strange
your
note.
right, and I
And
followed you to
texted
make
me
sure
weird.
that you didn't get murdered.
Yeah, because there were all the red
Which you
flags.
absolutely would in real life.
Yes.
I don't know that I would have let you go in real life.
No, I would not have gone in real life.
Good. I'm glad that we've all agreed.
Yeah, we each had individual little meetings about our individual.
With the guardians?
I was with the guardians
Yeah.
at the Vale. And yeah, that's what we were kind of just learning about the fake cabals. What are they?
Faction?
Factions. Cabals.
I know it's not Cabal.
But I
Cabal
like
is
that
the.
word.
It is a good word.
It's the next step up.
I didn't take enough notes on that
The
part, but I had that we met
Cabal-
Galahad from Gawain and
Right. Right. The Cabal with all the Arthur names.
Yep.
Yep.
But very specifically, not Arthur and not Merlin, because no one was that dumb.
That speaks well of them, actually.
Yeah, at least that's what I have written down.
Yep, that pretty much sums up everything that happened last time.
For once.
You
For
did.
Yay!
once.
Good job.
Good job.
So, we will pick back up. You guys had attended this meeting. You left and went home. And a few days later, you would have gotten a message. Again, this is an invitation that was sent out to all of you, although it is sort of specifically for a few of you, but they sort of sent a group invitation, as it were, to come to a free council meeting that was happening later that day.
Yes, and I would go just because I want to know
Oh,
all the things.
Yeah, samesies.
I don't think any of us are turning it down.
Yeah, no, I'm
Like
for
Ember.
sure heading.
Okay.
I'm gonna go.
So I will send you all the address for this in the chat.
Oh man. We didn't have to do as much of this last time.
I'm intrigued.
I am riding with Ember.
Reluctantly.
You sound real excited about that.
One of the best lines from the last episode was, "Would it make you feel better if I took like a safe driving course?" You haven't?
That did make me really happy.
I'm gonna now.
Yeah, I think I might have put too much in that. I'll deal with that in between sessions.
Oh, that was the wrong chat.
Not
It's
usually quite
fine.
that loud.
Everyone else in the tavern chat's like, huh?
You know what?
It's fine. It's fine. This is fine. Copy.
That's the right chat. When I sent it, I was like, I didn't remember turning this chat the red color.
Wait, did we figure out where Piper and I are living?
No, because so you guys are in. It is in a suburb, and you guys are basically renting a small basement apartment. It is not your permanent place you want to stay, but it was cheap, and they didn't have you sign a contract, and they didn't ask questions.
Got it. Okay. Wait, this is just like a house?
Yes, it is. Just a cute little house in a cute little neighborhood, I guess. Wow. You get kind of old school neighborhood.
That is a cute house.
That's a cute little space.
That makes me nervous.
Phone out.
This person's backyard has no fence. I can see through your window.
Keith, what did you do?
What did you do?
I hit the use current location
Oh boy.
instead of my fake apartment. I was going to try and get there from here.
Aw, and they put little jack-o'-lanterns out just so that they looked more normal for us. Isn't that cute? I assume it's maybe October-ish.
I would assume so. I would assume the Google Street View of that location is probably from October. So, are any of you doing anything before you attend what is hopefully the last of your taste testing meetings?
I think I want to meet again with
That would be a
Lance's
no.
eye twitches. I will also be getting a coffee in this game.
There are specific things that Jamal would probably be doing real life stuff. I have ideas for what they are, but they don't necessarily, like, they're more his normal life things. So
Okay.
I can tell you if you want, but they don't necessarily.
It is up to you.
I get like a small, cheap, whatever thing wherever you're at. I'm like, fine, I'll have like the child's small.
The hot chocolate?
I'm like, I'm like,
I don't think they have a child's hot
Like a
chocolate.
black
I want a
coffee.
kid-size coffee.
I'll have like I'll have the coffee black.
I may stop off some
I'm gonna get,
place
like,
and get like a
8 shots of
6-pack of wine
espresso.
coolers or something to take along
It's
with.
like-
Good man. Okay.
Yeah. Like, if there is enough time in between meetings, he would probably end up, he's working on a studio exhibit for himself that he's putting out, and he's also, like, planning projects for the kids coming up themed around mental health.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm gonna be my mother and be like, see, look, I have sweet loaves and a creamer from the gas station, and I'm gonna add it to my black coffee.
How much would creamer and sweetener been?
I don't know.
At the place, probably free.
You know,
You do you.
Just
It's fine.
not bad to use things that you have. It's fine.
It's probably better to use things you have. Otherwise, you get ants.
No.
You want ants in your purse? This
Like-
is how you get ants in your purse.
A semi-serious way, I would just like be joshing you about. I'm like, do you want some coffee with your drink?
I got so much espresso. Leave me alone.
So what I'm hearing is Piper gets like the opposite of what Stephanie gets in real life.
Yes. Well, it's because A, she thinks it's cheaper, and she thinks it's more like serious.
Coffee.
Coffee black.
Oh gosh.
She's the I'm an adult. I get my coffee black. I add four creamer and 2 packs of sugar after I get it, but
But they don't see that, so it doesn't count.
The coffee shop thinks I'm cool
Yeah.
and hardcore.
I don't want to give any more pennies to coffee shops than I have to.
See, the coffee shop knows that they burn their coffee grounds, though, so the coffee shop just thinks that she has annihilated her taste buds with other substances.
they've got her on a watch list.
Yes.
Anyone who orders our coffee black immediately goes on a...
I know.
I, like a normal human being, I will brew my own at my own place
Uh-huh.
from a Folgers can into a pot on the stove, cook it, or boil it. I don't know.
It's like, tell me you don't drink coffee in real life without telling me you don't...
Not on a stove. We were all.
It's got one of those old style percolators.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll bring my own.
So
'cause
we've got Folgers can in the RV. We've got...
Oh my gosh, please say that it's a Stanley, like an old school, like, Stanley. I'm like, oh, he's really
Before they
hip.
cost
He's
like
got the
$200.
Stanley.
No, it's a very old thermos, and then I just have a
very
coffee
old,
mug with
like
me
one of those
in my
very
truck.
old green Stanley.
Exactly, and it's a little beat up. It's got some dents.
Absolutely, my granddad had one of those.
Vintage, respect.
As I say, it's the kind that like you can't buy anymore.
Nope.
There's a
Also, it does actually completely make sense that of all people, like you would make your coffee stovetop.
Yeah, I love that he looks hipster, but not intentionally. He's just it's so old that it has become
He
retro.
My background is like I lived in the woods. I was a park
He is
ranger
so
for several
boomer.
years.
He's hipster.
And I was raised by my grandfather.
You are so boomer, you are hipster.
Yeah.
Is
And the
how-
Ouroboros continues. It's
I just I think we pan to like him getting ready, and then it's just like at the stove, and it's like the tick,
Yep.
just nice and slow.
absolutely
And
Alright,
my
sorry.
usual
I
hiking
love
boots, jeans, and a
and flannel.
flannel, white shirt.
Do you have a does Zach have a beard?
Yeah, like a not like a full beard, but like maybe like a kind of like what Keith's got.
Okay,
Not
so yeah,
but not
so-
as well kept as.
So Zach 100% looks hipster to anyone who doesn't know that. No. He is before.
He's not hipster. He's actually just.
He really was into this before it was.
He was what hipsters blueprinted from.
Somehow I fit in, and I
You
don't
are
understand.
ironically cool, which is exactly hipster.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like so hot right now.
So you all arrive in that neighborhood, and indeed there are there's tons of cars parked along the streets. Like, this is a residential neighborhood, but it is definitely where the meeting is happening.
I looked down at the 6-pack of wine coolers and was like, I should have brought more booze.
You brought booze
He
Of
did, because
course
he's
I
thinking
did.
ahead.
to a council meeting?
Of course.
I was like, I have 3 pieces of juicy fruit. I didn't know we were supposed to bring something.
I was not told to bring anything, so I did not bring anything.
Yeah, we'll go up and
Knock
if
on
nobody
the
else
door.
Now,
knows.
do we all get there about the same time?
Yes.
Or I was like, oh, cool. We'll do this as a team. Let's go team.
I'm like,
Okay.
what fresh hell is this? All right.
It looks like a house.
I know.
Also, I love in the right bottom corner of the screen, you can see Lance. Because you can see
Yeah.
our monitor
Yeah.
in the bottom corner.
But there's just enough delay.
I'll go up and like a little tap tap or like
Tap,
a nice
tap.
hard knock. Like they might have that little door knocker. It looks like a little fancy house.
It does
I
look
mean,
like
I imagine there. I mean, is there a doorbell with?
Probably.
There is a ring
I
doorbell.
was about to say,
So it's like,
I hate that
they're all
shit.
about technology.
So as you come up the steps, you just hear them through the thing. Just be like, "Oh yeah, just come on in."
Okay.
All right.
Wipe my shoes
Okay.
off.
So I'll open the door and step in.
This is like the TARDIS. It's only inside. Like muttering. I'm coming inside.
So you guys step inside. You step into it. It looks like a house. Like somebody lives here. And there is a sign. So they've got like one of those nice little like easel stands, and they've got a nice little sign printed that says like "meeting this way" and points like down a hallway, and then there's one right in front of like what are stairs leading into a basement, which is a little like in this part of the United States, only fancy houses get to have basements. So the house itself feels upper middle class.
Yep.
You guys go first.
Okay.
Down the stairs.
Team and I do not go first into a basement.
That's reasonable.
Isn't it statistically likely that you'll be the last one to die? Or at least one of you two has to fight for the final girl.
I was gonna say, I mean, we know who dies first, and we know who dies after that.
Statistically, I would not be here.
Statistically, you would have already died.
I think the horror story math is you get to die first, and then you two get killed off, and then one of you dies.
That'll be me.
No. At some point, one of us fake dies.
This is
because
true.
one of us is the traitor.
Right, one of you is actually the killer.
I almost died of a peanut allergy, but I fought through it, and then I get shot in the back of the head.
Alright, we'll go on down.
So you guys head down into the basement, and as you're heading down, you can hear the sound of talking. It sounds like a good amount of people. You get down, and the stairs sort of open up into a big sort of great room in the basement. The basement's actually pretty sizable. It is at capacity, but it's not too cramped. It's right in that happy medium where like it's definitely full. There's not a ton of space, but you haven't yet hit the point where you're like running out of room and everybody's like sardines in a can. There are at least 20 people milling about. There are folding chairs that have been set up in like rows in the middle of this great room. So this is sort of like an ad hoc.
I've been to firesides like this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly like that.
Fireside,
That is
yes.
100% what this feels like. As you come down the stairs, there is something interesting that probably everyone but Zach picks up on. There are two kinds of people in this room.
Oh dear.
About half the people are hipsters. You got people wearing the beanies, they're in the skinny jeans, the flannel, the man bun, the whole thing. The other half of the people here are tech bros. They're like, you've got people still in like their sports coat, but with the jeans. They've got the Apple Watch on. These are the kind of people you would expect to be doing door-to-door sales in college.
Ah, our friend Logan.
Exactly.
My brother Tom.
And so it is both of those groups together.
I feel real out of place right now.
You're not the only one.
And now that you think about it, you do realize that on your way in, about half the cars outside were like Subarus, and about half the cars outside were like Teslas. That was not actual Tesla, but like it is held. Like you are looking at an unholy alliance of retro hipsters and tech bro frat boys in one group.
Which, given what we know about the Free Council, actually makes
Oh,
a lot of
totally.
sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, as you guys are coming, it is a wall of noise. There are people talking. There doesn't seem to be any clear like organization, or it is very like all the chairs were set up in like rows, but people have moved chairs freely to like form their own little cliques wherever. There is a table that has refreshments.
I was waiting for a pause to see if there was that.
There are 2 boxes of Krispy Kreme donuts.
Oh,
Okay.
Hang on, I say that. I actually need to check and see if there is a Krispy Kreme in Burlington, because that might be Dunkin's exclusively, now that I think about it.
Speaking of,
I just kind of like go to
Krispy
see what
Kreme
kind
donuts.
of snacks they. Because you can tell a lot by what kind of snacks they.
Yeah, no, we're getting there. It's...
I got
know-
a small preview of what tonight is about, and I hate it.
Yeah, okay, sorry, I was wrong.
Not Zach approved.
It is Dunkin' Donuts
Ah.
exclusively, because,
Okay.
in fact, the nearest Krispy Kreme is in Montreal.
Well,
I wondered.
Yeah,
So-
but are these guys fancy enough that they would just have it brought in from Montreal?
Magic.
No.
and donuts.
Magic.
So
Instant
you've
Donut?
got like 3 dozen Dunkin' Donuts. You've got a couple packages. It is clear from this table that this was like a like different, like bring your own contribution type thing. So you have a couple packages of like the sugar cookies you would get at like a Walmart or something, and they're like the bakery brand. You have a very sad looking package of regular Oreos, not double stuffed Oreos. Normal regular Oreos.
Okay.
There is
Oreo. This is Lance shame on Oreo?
on
Wait,
regular
excuse me?
Oreos. Yes.
Do you not get double stuffed Oreos?
I don't get Oreos. They took away pistachio, they are dead to me.
Okay.
But yes, this is shade on anyone who goes to the store and is like, I could buy double stuff or normal sized filling, and I choose the normal size. Yeah.
Okay, I know what I'm getting Lance for his birthday.
There is mega stuff.
Oh my
I
God.
was
Which is
wondering
which is
mega
equally
stuff.
bad.
It's equally bad because it's just
No.
like
That's too
I like some frosting. I don't like that much frosting.
There's also a couple pizza boxes, but when you open it, it's pretty clear that this is like,
Last night's pizza.
yeah, like this is leftover pizza. There is a keg of beer.
Sure.
There are a couple bottles of wine, and then there's a smattering of some soda. There's a box of Capri Sun. Like, it is the most hodgepodge. Like, there clearly was no overarching plan or theme to this. They literally just said, bring whatever you want, and people just brought whatever came to mind. There was no real plan here. There was clearly not like a sign-up sheet to make sure that like, okay, we need like an entree and like 2 desserts, and oh no, this was just people brought whatever they wanted.
Like, so the drink situation is also what it's like growing up LDS, going to a non-LDS party. Like, let's see, I have a Sprite,
Yes.
a LaCroix.
So very hodgepodge, very very chaotic in its
I do.
creation.
How do you know that?
So your wine could fit right in. You can just put them on the table and
Set
you're
them on
good.
the table, grab one of the bottles,
All right.
crack it
Like,
open.
seeing this like potluck kind of thing.
It's important to note,
Gosh dang it.
it is a potluck without any of the
Just
actual
because
things you would want at a potluck. Like, there's not an entree. There's not sides. It is like snacks, desserts, and alcohol, and that is it.
Yeah.
Is there, like, I'm sorry, so, like, overwhelmingly male versus female? Like, what's
I was
that?
about
Is
to
it
ask that.
Ooh, that's a
50?
good question.
I
Let
assume
me...
there's some female tech bros in here.
You'd think,
Got the high
but they're also meeting in a basement, so
Yeah, but this seems like
Probably
an
more-
established thing.
Probably more hipster chicks than tech bro. Tech.
Okay, so I can tell you
Bro-
this.
bro.
There are 2 answers to this question. One is the reality of when Lance looks over the list of what he prepared, and one of them is the intention behind it. Your ratio is pretty heavily favored in terms of men. Lance would like to point out to you so that you understand that was not an intentional choice, but I don't want to like overinflate the... I don't want to just be like, oh, you see a mingling of equal numbers of people, because like there's not supposed to be that many people. Roughly a third in your mind could be women, and you'd be pretty
Okay, that's
on. Like it clearly leans one way, but not enough that it's like a
sexist.
Like intense.
or like it feels like a hostile environment
Yeah.
if you don't fit in.
Okay, okay.
And it is
Alright.
pretty evenly split between retro hipsters and tech bro frat boys. That is like it's a pretty even split there in terms of that.
So Jamal's mom always made sure that he was prepared for in case like you walk into a social event and there's food expected.
Uh-huh.
So he goes back to his car and brings in a big bowl of kuli kuli.
Okay.
That was just in his car?
that was just gonna sit there for the whole meeting.
Yeah, how long? Like, how fresh is this?
It's pretty fresh. Like he made it shortly before the meeting.
Okay.
He also like makes it for his kids and stuff like
Right.
that. If he's doing stuff like
Okay.
it's part of the snacks, he'll have Nigerian snacks that he grew up with because it gives him an excuse to cook.
Fair.
And so he brings this bowl in. It was like, I knew it.
Well,
I knew
shit,
it. She was
Jamal.
I'm kind of like,
Making us look bad.
right. Gotta be prepared, man.
But the invitation would have said bring something if we were supposed to bring something, right?
Have a Nigerian mother. That is not true.
As you set your bowl on the table, you feel a hand clasp your shoulder from behind.
And here we go.
And you hear Alpheus say,
yeah.
that might be the first time I've seen someone bring actual food to one of these.
I mean, it's snackable. Figure I got a place.
I think that has more nutritional value than anything else I've seen at all of these combined.
That you are correct.
Also, glad you guys could make it. Glad you're able to find the place okay.
Hold on, I have a
Nice
question.
house.
Which side does Alpheus fall into?
That is a great question.
I thought he had a little suit jacket thing.
I was thinking he was a little more hipster, but now I'm not sure.
I see him.
Roll
in
me.
trees,
He
so
straddles
from
the
his board,
divide like
so
a
he does not fit
Adonis.
in either of these categories for
Roll me a
His suit jacket and tire from the thrift store.
wits or intelligence, your choice, plus socialize.
Wait, I can't just tell?
No.
Okay. Wits,
Well, maybe you can
intelligence,
tell. You're going to have to roll and we'll see how well you're able to pin him down.
Plus socialize?
Yes.
Where's social?
It's a social skill.
Okay.
And if you don't have any dots in it, it's at a -1.
A 4, a 1, and a 4.
So that is no successes.
Right.
You can't tell. He's not wearing like a suit jacket or anything right now. He's in he has like a nice polo shirt on, but like only 2 of the buttons of the 3 are done up, and he's wearing jeans, but he like his polo shirt's not tucked in. He's not wearing like loafers. He does have an Apple Watch on, but not like the really high end. It's actually probably not even an Apple Watch now that I think about it. It would be like an off-brand, like cheaper version. Neither, both.
Could go either way. He straddles the divide like the Colossus at Rhodes.
I was gonna say, if anybody else wants to make that
He's a
roll, you can
bisexual.
see if you can tell.
I'll give it a go. What's the
Sure,
roll?
why not?
It's either intelligence
Wait,
or wits plus socialize.
You can't tell that there's a divide.
Yeah, except Zach does not pick up. Zach does not realize
Okay, so
what this divide in this room is.
But can I still try and see which of the...
Sure.
intelligence or wits plus what?
Plus socialize.
Socialize.
It is a social skill. If you have 0 dots, you have a -1.
6, 7, and 2, so no successes.
9944.
3 successes.
Okay,
Seriously?
5, 9.
I'm very good at reading people.
so it's 2 successes. Okay, so for Daniel, also can't tell. For Piper and Jamal, you can tell, you pick up that Alpheus specifically, intentionally makes it unclear. He intentionally straddles the line so that you could, like, he could blend in with either side and it would seem to fit.
Now that makes sense.
Zach,
I've been known for...
it has slowly dawned on you that you're not sure, like, what what the characteristics are. There's definitely, like, 2 different social groups in this room. You're not sure what they are, you're not sure what the differentiation, but, like, you just get this sense of, like, there are 2 different groups here, and you also get the sense that, like, Alpheus he is intentionally trying not to appear to be one or the other.
Okay.
You still have no idea what those clicks
No, of
are,
course not.
or what determines them,
No,
but you
no.
have figured out that there's 2.
Right. I'm still working on... Is it the difference between people wearing flannel and people wearing tight shirts? Because that seems to be the 2 differentials that I'm working with currently.
Yeah, so for the 2 of you, you can tell that Alpheus has intentionally cultivated his appearance and his vibe to fit either.
Respect.
Hey, Alpheus. What car do you drive?
Today?
I hate it.
You have more than one car?
To say that I have more than one car would be incorrect. To say that I have access to more than one car would be accurate.
Huh.
The owners of the cars know that you have access to them, right?
Yeah.
It's your
Okay.
cabal, isn't it?
This is a great time for Lance to point out to each of you. You have seen him drive a minivan, an SUV, and a beat-up Toyota Camry. In the 3 times I have specified what car he showed up in, those were the 3 cars he showed up in.
Soccer mom in your cabal.
Well, we have to have a van because sometimes we have to pick up groups of what was the term that somebody threw around the other day? New graduating classes, and take them places. So we had to have it's creepy if you show up in an actual express van. People don't like that.
That's true.
But a minivan for some reason puts them at ease.
Especially if you got those stick figures in the back, man.
Exactly.
Soccer mom vibes.
Yep.
So
For a
today
different reason.
I drove the Corolla because that was what was left.
Huh.
So
Also, hi. Sorry.
yeah, good to see you guys. It's all good.
Goody.
Sure. So as you guys sort of step away from the table as you all dish up or whatever, see other people noticing that there's real food, and they come over and you can tell they're a little unsure,
What is this thing?
and they dish up a little bit and people start trying. No one other than you guys is necessarily taking a full bowl. They're all taking because of the nature of what this is. They grab red plastic Solo cups and put little bits of it in the Solo cups.
I've done that
Qualify.
before.
I
Yep,
hate
they're-
that.
they're
I hate
actually,
when people use
like-
cups as a vessel for their food.
They look like wrong Cheetos. They're not. It's not like a soup thing. They look
Oh, yeah.
like wrong Cheetos. Oh, they're still.
Yeah, no, that's so they see it and they're like, "Ooh, I want to try some," and they're like, "Oh, I need something to hold this in," and so they look around, and the only thing available here is a half-opened package of red
Fair
Solo
enough.
cups.
Fair enough.
Because if I have a party for 50 people, I'm gonna buy 60 cups. I'm not gonna buy 700 cups. So if you're using a cup as a vessel for food, you might be dipping into the cup person ratio. So I hate that. Sorry. Hi.
I had
I
never
don't
thought
say
of
any of
that.
that
way.
out loud.
I will remember this so that the next time I'm at an event that Steph hosts, I can use a cup for my vessel.
I'll be like, hey lads.
And I'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Steph. What's going on? Is there a problem?"
This one's dirty now. I should get another. Are you okay? Oh,
It's okay. I feel the same way about people who get they get a cup to drink water out of, and then throw that cup away, and then get another cup later, and I'm like, "Just you. It's water.
Right? You're
It is
enamored.
one
Yeah.
part of the
Sorry.
cleaning
Ow,
process."
wow.
That's right. I have this argument at home where it's you just left it by the sink. Yes, because it's the water cup. I use it exclusively for water, so I don't want to have to wash it every time I drink.
And then somebody puts away your water cup.
And then you have to use another cup, and it's wasteful. Yes.
Y'all are batshit insane. Honestly. It's a vessel! Doesn't matter what goes in it, as long as...
Yes. If you drink milk out of a cup, you don't then set it on the counter and leave it there for hours and come back later and drink something else out of it.
Of course not. That's insane.
Yes, but if you drink water out of a cup,
Okay.
you can set it on the counter,
Yeah.
leave it there for hours, come back and drink more water out of it, and it's not a problem. There's not going to be any issue. The little bit of residue of water, it's not going to spoil. It's fine.
This is what
The
they come
worst
here
thing that
for.
can happen is that a fly lands in it.
There you go.
But you won't know because you're not watching the water cup all the time, so
Exactly.
you'll be blissfully ignorant. Anyway, so
Okay.
Alpha's sort of, you form your own clique. He's like, "Yeah, just pull up a chair. They'll probably start, and it'll probably take them at least 20 more minutes."
Does anyone
my-
organize these?
Yes.
For certain
Someone should. You'll see. Sort of.
Because I'm not gonna lie, part of me wants to yell out, be like, "Okay, let's get these chairs in a line. Everyone sit down. We're gonna be starting in 5 minutes." I'm not gonna do that because it's not my place, but there is part of me that is dying inside right now.
I mean, so
I don't know. It's not that bad.
I do a vibe check. Zach-based vibe check
on what?
on... Is this is this the kind of crowd that I think Zach would be like, "These guys are cool"?
Sure.
What will you associate to a vibe check?
Let's do presence.
I have a lot of presents.
But wait,
Presence, empathy.
Oh,
would it be the kind
double
of
those.
hipsters that decorate their rear ends?
Some of
But
them
like the
definitely.
little flowers, and you might
One
notice
success.
One success. Okay. So this is hard for me to answer, but
I think you know.
I think there are people here that Zach, like, there are individual groups of these people that Zach would like, but not all of them are going to be Zach's cup of tea.
Yeah.
that. Or a cup of coffee.
Just wondering.
So yeah, some of them are going to be the kind that, like, if there's a type of hipster you can think of, at least one person in this room is that kind.
Piper purposefully takes a bowl or plate or whatever that is the correct vessel for food.
There's not plates.
Son of a guy.
Like, there's a half-open package, it's now about a third gone, of red Solo cups. There's not utensils, there's not plates, there's not anything else.
Oh, then I take a cookie. I'm like, okay. And I go and I sit.
There's not
somewhere.
even napkins. There is a roll of paper towels. Not
Okay, that's...
not on a thing, just out on the counter.
I can live with that.
Yeah,
I
that
can look
in
at
a
that.
pinch that serves.
Yeah, so like
as
there is a
plate.
roll of paper towels, but like this was not a planned or thought out thing.
I
This
sit.
is
I
why.
just sit with my cookie.
So your question, he'll be like, okay, it's a little different depending on who's hosting that time. Sometimes it's a little more put together, but in general, it is organized by committee. And sometimes that and everyone gets an equal say in how what the committee decides.
You know, I thought I was gonna like this group, but I think I feel like that like Wendy and Peter Pan, you know, these people need a mother. Like, what the heck?
Like the book.
I mean, it'll get a little more organized when we actually start.
Oh,
Like this is like we're all sort of waiting, but like.
I mean, I will be interested to see how the meeting goes.
fair.
Because meetings, excuse me, are a better indicator typically.
We like to take sort of a laissez-faire approach to a lot of stuff.
I see that.
So, like, you know, if you want snacks, bring snacks.
I guess.
And
if
we
you
leave
want
it up to
plates,
you.
Bring plates.
Yeah,
too.
if you want something, you provide it. If it's important that you have it, then you bring it.
So note to self: plates and silverware or plasticware next time.
And more wine coolers.
Yep.
Interesting.
And the venue will change almost every time. Like, it sort of rotates. Different people volunteer at different points, so it's not always here. Sometimes it's in more appropriate venues than someone's basement, but
I got no problem with the house. This is a little creepy on the intake, but you know, it's fine.
we also try not to use the same place too many times so that, like, people don't ask questions. You know, we don't, like, constantly overload the parking outside.
That makes sense.
It's thoughtful.
In my brain, I suddenly realized that the neighbors might think that we're a cult
Or a D&D group.
or a D&D group. Yeah.
A D&D group of 20 people.
A very large D&D group.
Keith is the
Multiple
DM.
sessions going on at the same time. Different tables.
It's a D&D convention.
There you go.
Welcome to a 20-player kill team session.
I don't even want to think about trying to run
private Magic the Gathering tournament.
Yeah,
There
I was
you
thinking
go.
that one. The local chapter.
The local chapter.
All right. I'm just waiting. I'm eating my cookie.
Yeah, like I said,
gonna-
it'll probably knowing who's in charge. It'll probably be another 20 minutes.
So who is in charge?
Today, we are at Noonan's house.
Noonan. We've met
Noonan.
Noonan.
You have not met Noonan.
Well, I've heard that
Because
name,
Keith,
though.
I'm curious. Will you please share what that means, name-wise?
The instant association for me is Khan Noonien Soon.
Who's kind of
I don't know that, but
Also
I know the
known
name
as-
Noonan.
Khan
Oh, from Star Trek.
from Star Trek.
Ah. That would make sense if that's where it comes from.
We've heard this name.
No, we haven't.
Not?
No.
No.
Are you
That was
thinking of
a
Newman from
complete out of
Seinfeld?
character, Keith.
You may have heard this name before as a player. I have not told your characters this person's name at all.
Okay.
And I know that for certain because I hadn't finalized his name until 2 days ago.
Got it.
So I am confident in saying that.
That's fair.
I know Human and Moonin. Don't know Noonan.
I know cumin.
I'm guessing you're not going to tell us the spelling.
Do you ask Alpheus how it's spelled?
No.
Then no.
How do you spell that shit?
Oh, Noonan.
Thanks.
Alright then.
It's not not exactly the same spelling. So
No, that's just a happy coincidence. Because if there was a group of people that would use shadow names from Star Trek, this is that group of people.
A genetic condition
No, that
that
doesn't
stops
quite-
typical development in parts of the body?
Doesn't quite fit.
I think that was. Yeah, I got that too. It's not. I don't think it's that.
As I say, I won't tell you what it means unless you find the guy and ask him. But
Yeah. So
Interesting.
We'll
is
see what I
this
think of him
Noonan
first.
guy? What can you tell us about him? Or her?
I mean, he's a member of the Free Council. He's big into aviation. He has his pilot's license.
Cool. Always wanted that. So that's pretty slick.
Ah,
Yeah,
I see.
I was like, that's the piece of information you needed.
There's the clue. Interesting.
For those at home, his shadow name refers to Amelia Earhart's co-pilot.
Frederick Joseph Noonan.
Okay.
All right.
I dig.
That's
It's pretty cool.
a choice.
Yeah. It's definitely unique.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I don't know him super well, but he's an okay guy. He's probably one of the few people who has a basement big enough that they can have this meeting in their house. At least without it being spread across, like, all of the house.
Gotcha.
Is there anyone else that's just kind of, I guess, sort of like me, just kind of like sitting and waiting, or kind of just.
Well, so everybody's sort of, even like you, like they're all sort of in little
Gotcha.
groups.
Clips.
So like you don't see anyone who's clearly like alone and like not, but there are some people sitting, but they're all still sort of talking within their clique.
Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of like listen in on some of the conversations, like slyly lean on a post or something here and there, see if I can pick anything
Okay.
up.
Make me a wits composure roll.
My composure's probably garbage, but I have good wits. Where's my composure? Where is my composure?
That's another attribute.
How is it that I have two? Okay. At some point, we shall reallocate, because some of this does not make sense. Okay, so that's one. What is a success? 6 or
It's
over?
an 8, a 9, or a 10, and if it's a
Over
10,
9.
you re-roll it.
Okay, so I get 2 successes. 2 successes.
Okay. I will give you a little snippet of a conversation, and just understand that these are all variations on a different topic, but of a similar vein. The first conversation you listen into is like, I just don't know if they're going to be able to pull off season 7. Like, it was good. Like, I like Game of Thrones. I just don't know how well it's going to go. And some people's like, no, I think they're going to do great things. Like, I know we're past the point where but I think they're going to do great things. It is that, like, different topics, right? So, like, in one little snippet, they're talking about, like, a music album. And, like, it is all pop culture adjacent topics. Some of them are like, oh, did you see that their stock went up? Yeah, I heard their CEO. But, like, all current event pop culture adjacent topics.
Well, that was not nearly as interesting as I thought it was going to be.
Does there seem to be a divide between the hipsters and the tech bros, or is everybody just kind of intermingling?
Roll me wits composure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of like lean back against the chair and just take pulls on them and just sort of watch.
There are more than a few people who are also just sort of...
2, 6, 7, 8. So
one
that's
success.
8 is a success?
Yes.
8
8,
is
9,
a
and 10
success.
is a success. Okay.
I need to write that.
You're not noticing any groups that mix those two demographics. Like, each little clique tends to be either tech bros or hipsters.
Okay.
Now, you don't know if that's, like, that could just be coincidence, but you are not seeing any that are clearly, like, a mixing of the two. So Alpheus is, chilling around with you guys and be like, yeah, is there anybody, like, you want to meet or anything beforehand, or...
I don't know if I know enough to actually know who I should want to meet.
I mean, that's fair.
Is there anybody that you think we should meet?
Not right now. I think you're good. Unless any of you have any real niche hobbies.
I mean, I do run D&D games. but
That's
I-
not niche.
No, I didn't.
Not here,
think so.
anyway.
Art and neuroscience a niche hobby?
Here? No.
Fair.
No.
Alpheus, have I asked you what has drawn you to the Free Council?
No.
I would like to know what drew you to the Free Council.
I mean, it's pretty simple. One, I like technology. So, like, that was the initial draw, was like, we are the only order that embraces technology and tries to fuse magic with technology. But it is a much more egalitarian approach to things, for better and for worse sometimes. It's also the most... There's a respect and an embrace for individuality that you don't find in the other orders. Now, sometimes that doesn't work out super well. Like, you just bring whatever snacks you feel like you want to provide, right? But also, there's no, like, expectation. There's no requirement that you do or don't do a particular... Like, everyone is an individual and they do whatever seems the best to them. So it's a very freeing approach to things that I just prefer in my life.
Okay.
Like, I prefer to be able to be like, if we're going to worry about it, then I'll try and organize something, but we don't need to, like, do it just because tradition dictates this is how we do things. And there's not going to be, like, social pressure for you to, like, have to conform to a specific,
That's fair.
whatever.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
I could see how that would be appealing.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the part of my brain that requires structure is still screaming a little bit.
Yeah. You get a little... Yeah, that never goes away, really. That's... If you require structure and organization, we're not very good at that. We're not very good at that on things we don't think are important. I should clarify.
That's fair. I suppose
We can get organized if we need to, but, like...
Snacks is not-
If you're the kind of person who has to, like, enforce order over the meme chat on your Discord server, this is not the place for you.
Okay. That's fair.
This kind of reminds me of, like, in work, whenever somebody's email comes in, it's like a Yahoo or an AOL, I'm like, sorry, I'm dealing with someone. It's difficult, but if you see, like, a, .realtors or, like, .me, I'm like, oh, okay, this might be someone who's a little more... like, no one in here has an AOL or a Yahoo, or
No.
they barely have a Gmail. They have, like, a setup.
I was saying, and, like, if you look around, like, there are some people who seem more put together and probably more, like, structure focused than others. Just as an organization, they don't enforce structure, really.
Okay. So, Alpheus, do you know anybody in this organization who does prefer structure and, like me, might be screaming a little bit inside?
I mean, I don't think any of them are screaming inside. It's also, like, none of us had the responsibility of organizing this, right? So, like, it's not
That's
our...
fair. Wasn't your
Not our circus, not our monkeys. Like, it's going to be what it is. If it was at your house, then it'd be a little different. I know a few that are more disciplined I would say. I can introduce you if you want.
I would love that.
Sure. So he will take you over to a group of tech bros. So one of them is a heavyset guy. He's big. He's not particularly tall, but he is very broad. And he is standing there talking to an athletically built guy with spiky black hair and a Polynesian Pacific Islander looking guy. And they're all just... Oh, and a short Mexican. And they're all standing around talking, and he comes up, he's like, "Hey guys, got somebody who I thought you guys might get along with. This is Whimsy.
Hi.
Whimsy, this is Lewis Clark, Cook, and Ponce de Leon."
Oh
I just feel
no!
like cookies is there. I'm like,
Well,
So, the tall, heavyset man is Lewis, the Polynesian is Clark, the athletically built guy is Cook, and the short Mexican is Ponce de Leon. And you can tell that he was waiting for the opportunity to get to drag somebody over here and be like, "This is..."
I'm gonna take a second to kind of.
And,
All right.
and he'll be like, "In case you can't figure out, they're all in the same cabal."
That. The
No.
naming process fascinates me. I would love to hear.
Lewis is like, "Oh, it's
Children.
really simple. We're trying to map the entirety of the lake, so we're explorers, so everybody picked an explorer name."
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so Lewis, Clark, and he points to the athletic guy, James Cook. I feel like Ponce de Leon goes without saying.
All right. What? Nice to meet you all. Of course. Sorry, your names are.
Oh no, we get that a lot.
That's
Alpheus loves to introduce people to us like this.
That does not surprise me at all. So, how hard is it to map the lake?
Some parts are easy. Some parts are not. And the short Mexican guy will be like, "Oh, okay. It depends how deep you want to go into it, right? Because, like, some parts that are actually, like, there's a lot of depth there, and there's a lot of, like, silt and other stuff. We've actually been working on a really cool, it's a prototype. I talked to a guy, he works for this company out, and as he starts going, Lewis is like, "Oh, okay, all right, yeah, no, we don't need to bombard the new people just yet. Sorry."
Fine.
And Clark will be like, "It sucks.
Okay.
Things move around. They're not supposed to."
Okay. Have the sleepers noticed?
Lewis will be like, "No, not that we can tell."
Huh.
I mean, how many of them do you know that go out on the lake, though?
this one would have.
Probably.
That's
Can you
interesting.
learn from Fish and Game?
So, the reason that Alpheus actually brought me over to be introduced to you lovely people is because at a glance there seems to be a glaring lack of structure in this organization. And so I wanted to talk to some people.
Cook will pipe up as you say that and go, "I think they're going for like an organized chaos sort of a vibe."
Yeah. Yeah. And the more I dig into it, the more I see the organized part. But that seems to be a bit of a loose term. So I wanted to talk to some people who Alpheus thought might be a little bit more structured within this organization. See how it works for you guys.
Cook is like, "Oh no, we're super organized. We have a whole duty roster. We've got a whole thing, like we have a spreadsheet set up that tracks like, gas mileage used and like charging to the company account. I've got like 3 forms that I made and got notarized that you have to sign them anytime you're going to take the boat." And Lewis again is like, "Oh, okay, all right, okay. That's enough."
That's enough out of you.
I like these guys.
And
Okay.
Lewis will be like, "We prefer a more organized approach. Like, we're trying to map a whole lake, so we want..." Ponce over here has sort of created an algorithm to try and predict where things are going to move when, and we're trying to nail it down better. He's trying to build us like a computer simulation of some stuff. Some really cool cutting edge type stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, we prefer a more organized space, but
Okay, so how does that work for you being in the free council that is a lot more fluid seeming?
I mean, it's as fluid as you want it to be.
Okay.
Like, you can't control what other people are going to do, right? But, like, if you want a more organized structure and an itinerary, you can certainly have one. That you just, you can't enforce it on anybody unless the majority agrees to the idea.
Interesting.
But, like, if you want that, you can make it for yourself.
Actually, sorry, hold just a second. Hey, guys. I think you should meet these people.
Come meet Lewis and Clark.
All right.
All right, so stand up.
So when you say that, Alpheus just grins at you.
I'm gonna pass by the drink table, drop off my empty, grab it.
Oh, I should point out, at the table,
I think you fit in here.
there is one small, like the kind of garbage can that you would keep in like a bedroom or a bathroom, so one of like the small ones, and it is overflowing.
Overflowing, yep.
Mhm. I'll set my empty on the table next
Yeah,
to the trash can.
which more than a few people have already started doing. As you guys come over, and Alfie's like, everybody, this is Lewis, Clark, Cook, and Ponce de Leon.
Of course you are.
No one named Columbus, right?
Lewis will be like, no, we have... Rance has to pull it
There
up.
was a dude. He's no longer with us at this point.
He's like, no, the only other people we have are a Marco, a Pizarro, a Cortez, and somebody wouldn't get on board with the idea, so his name's Lafayette.
Wow.
You guys have met Lafayette. He's the one who gave you your little spiel
Yep.
when you first joined the
I
Concilium.
do remember that. And so he's also part of this cabal?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Yeah, so no Columbus, unless you'd like to be Columbus.
I would rather die.
Wow.
Okay.
That is a
That's fair.
strong response.
Do we know Columbus?
That's fair, honestly.
I'm
That's
like,
reasonable.
no, I don't want to put that evil juju on me. But that is fun. That's a great. I would be.
They're actually
Sacagawea.
mapping out the lake.
Wow.
They have an entire itinerary
Wow.
and notarized lists and things.
Oh.
Cool.
My brain just assumed that you were talking about being part of their cabal.
Oh no, and I do clarify that. I'm like, no, the name, knowing how powerful names are, and I would not take that one on. Not that name.
Lewis will be like, all right, I'm slightly less offended than I was.
I think that's a cool idea. That's a great idea.
I thought that might help.
definitely pick a more
Sacagawea.
feminine- Sacagawea. Definitely. Just the name itself.
That's fair.
No, that's a great. Any magical mapping or?
Oh yeah, like so
okay.
we have been we're trying to pin down, and he starts talking. He looks at everybody else, goes, "Let me give him the Sparks Notes version, guys." And you can see that they were like all of them are about everybody but Clark was about to like jump down like with all these, and he's like, "Let me." Parts of the lake sometimes move around, so we've been trying to figure out what the rhyme and reason is to why and where things move.
Thought that might be interesting for you, Mountain Man.
Wait, no, is that like a whole...
I used to live in the woods, not a lake. Plus, technically, the lake's technically already mapped.
Apparently.
Apparently not correctly.
I've seen a Google map.
Once in your life?
Google map.
They printed it out once.
They printed it out.
He thinks it's Google Maps. It was actually MapQuest.
Yeah, 100%.
A long time ago.
So parts of the lake move. Now,
Sometimes.
Like, are we talking shoreline or the stuff under the water, islands? What are we talking about moving around?
Yes.
Huh.
Okay, just let me... Leon. Ponce de Leon will be like, okay, so he'll pull up a thing. He'll be like, all right, so... And you can tell he's like pulled up a spreadsheet. Yesterday we made 3 circuits out to Hero Island.
Okay.
And the first time, straight line, it took us 45 minutes. The second time, straight line back, same process, took 2 hours. And the third time, we wound up on the other side of Hero Island without ever actually running into it until we realized it was behind us.
Hey, Lance. Have I heard of these guys? Not like magic, but like there's some weird people just always going out onto the lake.
Yes!
From my real life.
There is somebody in the marina that you have heard about. It's sort of
Okay.
like the water cooler story that people tell.
Mm-hmm.
There is this super yacht that somebody had flown into the lake from somewhere. And it has like state-of-the-art radar, and there are a whole bunch of there are rumors that whatever super millionaire keeps taking this boat out regularly onto the water for like days or weeks at a time is flying in a submersible
It's an ocean
for
jet
some reason.
Oh no.
But so like it is a known quantity that there is this super fancy like yacht with all this like really advanced mapping and radar technology that works out of the marina occasionally.
Because I'm curious. 'cause
Nobody knows whose it is. Like everyone has their theory. Like one guy's like, it is definitely the CEO of Ben and Jerry's, 100%. But like nobody knows for sure who owns this boat.
Okay.
And all they know is that there are, again, these are the water cooler stories. It wasn't like they didn't like have it brought here by train or by truck, and nobody they didn't bring it up the river. Somebody flew it in on a helicopter. And like another version of the story is that somebody flew it in on like a cargo plane and had it like airdropped into the lake.
What's its name? Because I have an idea of what it might be.
Nobody, it doesn't have a name.
Okay.
On the register, it's just like R77356 or something.
Okay.
So
What's Nemo's ship from 2000 Leagues Under the Sea?
the Nautilus.
That's my guess on what it's going to be, but we might find out later.
So yeah, you have heard stories of, and you're able to be like, you're the people.
It's like Captain
You're the
Caesar or
assholes.
whatever.
Wait, did you say that out loud?
No.
Just say it's an inside.
And
eye.
so, because no one stopped him,
Right.
Ponce de Leon is also like, so our rough estimates is that the lake can vary anywhere between 25.86 miles to approximately, given the time and fuel used, 147.3 miles across at any given point or time. Those are the maximum, and he like shows you, and he has like a bell curve. Like there's all these charts. You can tell that they have mathematically tried to like narrow down the probability scale of like where it's gonna be, and the average of his little bell curve is the actual, which I forget off the top of my head, is the actual like length of the lake, but it covers a whole bunch of ground.
Huh. Is it cyclical?
Fascinating.
We don't know. It might be. I have a theory that it might be tied to a combination of the orbits of the Moon, Mars, and Venus, and if there are any solar flares going on. See, there was this really interesting thing that and again, if you let him, he'll just go off on his. It sounds like a crackpot theory.
Aliens.
Wait, so when everybody say like Mercury's in retrograde and stuff like that, like
Might actually make a
it might actually matter, and maybe or maybe not, there's some weird sea monster.
So again, Ponce de Leon is like maybe, and he'll start pulling it up. And at this point, if you look at Lewis during any of this, Lewis will be like,
You asked for it.
Sounds fascinating. Look forward to reading your.
I have a
your
blog if
results.
you want to follow along.
Yeah, I will check that out.
Great, what's your email? Or your Discord handle, or your Twitter handle, or...
Actually, I'm genuinely curious.
And yeah, as I say, if you give him the information, he'll put you on his update list on his blog.
I'm part of
Yeah.
the conspiracy theory blog.
While as he launched into his explanation, if any of you were like notice, sort of under his breath, but still loud enough you can hear, Clark will just be like, "Shit's crazy, bro."
Oh boy. I'm slowly beginning to think that I don't think the free council is Zach's cup of coffee.
So about
I
this
think you lost me when you
time,
said spreadsheet.
about this time, somebody comes in and is like, guys, hey, and then one of the other free council members, shut up! Everybody goes quiet. And there's a man who steps up. He's slightly overweight, blonde, short cropped hair, and he is wearing a white dress shirt and slacks. He has aviators like clipped to it, and he has a little on the lapel of his jacket that he's wearing. He's got like the pilot wings clipped. They're like, all right, if everybody wants to settle down, get seated, we're ready to start. He's got like a sheaf of paper with him.
I'm like, it's Mormon.
Everybody sort of settles down. People start putting the chairs back in the rows, and Alfie's like, time to take our seat. So everybody sits down.
Yep.
I'm so glad that you gave me the chance to introduce you. I was waiting for so long to get to be like, oh, this is...
Well done, well done.
I thought it was very entertaining.
It is.
And very appropriate.
I thoroughly enjoy them. Like,
Okay,
you know, I
so
watch them all
he's
the
like,
time.
all right,
These guys.
everybody, thanks for coming out to our weekly meeting. Our monthly meeting, because I was wrong. Glad to have you here in the house. Please remember I need at least 5 of you to stay behind and help clean up, please. Please don't leave me with all this again. Okay.
Fireside.
Okay, so the Concilium has, in their magnanimous glory, apparently, finally decided to make a decision, and the crux of their decision is you can't go to the boathouse unless they tell you you can. So don't get caught, and don't let the arrow know what you're doing.
That's not a don't. Okay.
Yeah, okay. First big thing we gotta... Okay, he goes through the minutes from last meeting, which I don't have the details on, but it's like, it doesn't really mean anything to you guys. He goes through the minutes of last meeting, and as he's going through, at certain points, people sitting out on the chairs will be, like, you have people who are like, woo! Yeah! So, like, there's, like, peanut gallery commentary occasionally. Not a ton, just occasionally. And so he gets through the minutes. He's like, all right, so the first big thing we got to vote on, it has been proposed that we prepare a committee to decide on an investigative team to investigate the nonsense that has happened at the boathouse. So if you... And he'll look over to... There's somebody else sitting, and they've got like a little pad of paper out. He's like, so, those in favor, raise of hands. Some people raise hands, and the person with the pad of paper stands up and is like...
Oh gosh.
Those against... And then he'll show it to him, and he'll be like, okay, it would look like we have... That is 15-4, and... Crap, Lance has to do math in his head. It's 23 minus 15.
8.
And 8 against. Motion passes. All right. Do we have any proposals for the number of people that should be on this investigative committee?
I have an idea.
Somebody raises their hand, and he'll be like, yeah, I really got to get multiple tabs on this because I got to keep jumping back and forth. Yes, Thom. I propose that we have a committee of 8 people. Anyone second the motion?
You're the 8 that voted against it. Send them.
All right, motion does not have a second. It does not pass it. Anyone else? Nomination for the number of people on the committee. It's all quiet. One person tentatively raises their hand. Yes, Aladdin. How about a committee of 3? And you hear somebody else be like, 3 is not enough. Somebody else is like, it has to be an odd number, though. And for probably 2 minutes, people start shouting their ideas back and forth at each other. And Noonan is like, oh, okay. Do we have an official nomination? Finally, somebody raises their hand. He's like, yes, 7. All right, all in favor of 7 by raise of hands.
I raised my
Somebody
hand.
gets...
Point of order?
Yeah, so as you raise your hand, Alfie's like, no, you can't vote.
Point of order? I was not seconded.
When you do that, 2 people in front of you turn around and they're like, they glare at you. And Alpheus is like...
Someone's gonna kill you.
And Noonan is like, does anyone second it? And Alpheus is like, I do! All right, all in favor. Hands go up, we get up. And about halfway through, he's like, hang on, I lost count.
Who voted twice?
Records it.
Only one hand.
The motion
guys.
passes. And so, you know, Noonan's like, all right, the motion passes. Do we have any nominations for the 7 members of our committee? And for the next 15 minutes, it is a cycle of, like, nominations for people to be on it. You know, do we have a second? Counting the votes. And it is punctuated by several different times where someone will propose something and somebody else will be like, we can't trust them. And sometimes it's like serious objections, but other times it's like, we can't trust him. He thinks Daenerys should rule Westeros. Like these the dumbest, and you can, as this is all happening, if any of you look over, Alpheus is just, he has this look on his face. He's like, ah, yes, democracy at its finest.
I'm laughing like, I don't know, one of those like inebriated like exes at an anniversary party where you're just like, you know, it's like, what?
So in the end, they nominate 7 people for the committee, and they're like, all right, the committee will meet at a place and time of their choosing. We will hear their report. Again, there will be an update on the Discord server if there's anything that happens before the next meeting.
Well, Zach's out.
Okay.
I do love
If
the
it wasn't
Discord
already.
server.
There's a few other minor points of business that don't seem to have as much like back and forth. And then he goes, all right, so before we start in on the debates, for those of you who want to leave before those start, you get some chuckles out there, I do have, because I know it's important to all of you, I do have the updated June 2019 anime watch list and the stock recommendation list. So, the anime recommendations list are in order. Ascendance of a Bookworm, Ari Fuerta, Fire Force, The Promised Neverland, and Beastars. You get some chuckles from people. You have a couple people who like hoot and holler over it. It's like, okay, and we'll post it on the Discord, but also your monthly stock recommendations, according to our dear friend Lafayette, are Dogecoin, Verizon's for the dividend, and everyone has, when he says Verizon after this, everyone all together, for the dividends. Silicon Valley Bank, which actually looks kind of promising. Tesla, of course, and Pangea. And your reminder to make sure that the FANG companies are in your portfolio. So we will open the floor to debates. Those of you who would like to get out of here, feel free.
Do you run?
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Goodbye. You have my number.
So a good number of the people at this point, everybody starts standing up, and some people go up, and like as ever, you know, people are getting up, and Alpheus is going to look at you guys. The people up there start a debate between what is the appropriate understanding and model for quantum mechanics, the Copenhagen interpretation or any other kind. And they start into like a little debate. They're still trying to use like, you know, the parliamentary procedure for a lot, but like they started doing it.
I do lean over to Alpheus. I'm like, so are these meetings required? I'm assuming not.
No. Some are more productive than others.
Okay. Okay.
You only have to show up if you care to vote.
Okay. So you could still be part of the Free Council, do the things that Free Council represents and whatnot without this.
Yes,
Meetings.
and he'd be like, I wanted you guys to see one because that part of the meeting is the worst part. Now I'm going to show you the actual good part of the meeting, which is the after party.
Oh, okay. And I kind of glance at the cookies and I'm like, oh.
Oh, someone has eaten. When the meeting started, there was a full package of cookies. That full package is gone.
Okay.
It's not empty. It is gone.
Alright.
So he'll be like, all right, if you guys want to come with me, I will show you the actual good side to this, because that is never it. But it is important, And while some people are very argumentative, it does ensure that everybody gets a fair say in whatever happens. So if you guys want to come on with me, we've got a meeting, funny enough, down at the same Denny's that we went to last time.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna dump anything that's left over from my kuli kuli.
I'm gonna call you.
Okay.
A thing of paper towels and take my
Okay.
gun back.
Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
So apparently there's an after party and it's supposed to be better than the meeting was. You want to come?
Define better.
I don't know.
Okay,
Alfia said it's at Denny's. At the very least, you can get pancakes. Or whatever you like at Denny's.
Okay.
Or
I'll eat you at
don't.
Denny's then.
Okay. See you at Denny's.
Okay.
So Alpheus heads out, and you guys all hop in your cars, and presumably all head to this Denny's.
Yep.
I have a lively conversation with Boomsy in the car. I'll just be like, what the heck?
That was interesting.
This reminds me of an HOA meeting.
Oh God.
I've never been to an HOA meeting.
I mean, me either, but I imagine that's what an HOA meeting is like.
I feel like if you had a goal, like if there was something that you wanted to do and you didn't want to be bothered about it, the free council would actually be a good place.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
It's fair.
no one's gonna stop you.
We've been told not to do this. So guys, don't let anybody know that we're doing
Don't
this.
I was to say, and you guys were at the Adamantine Arrow meeting where they were like, hey, the Concilium has officially asked us to keep watch and stop anybody that doesn't have approval. So here's the duty roster for who will be on duty when. And then, yeah, the next meeting, they're like, don't get caught, guys.
So if I had something very specific that I wanted to do, or if I just wanted to straight up do my own thing but still be kind of part of the Magic Society, I feel like this would be the place to be.
Yeah. They don't tell you what to do. I could see that's kind of nice.
Why do we have to go to a Denny's again?
I don't
Why is there an after party at Denny's?
I have stopped asking questions like that. I just
Fair. It's because weird folks show up at Denny's. You can meet at Denny's any time of day,
Anywhere.
anywhere. Nobody cares.
No one asks questions.
That is true.
They let us, as a theater student in high school, they would let us crash the Denny's at 1 a.m.
Denny's and I
No
got,
questions
man.
asked.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I've gone to a Denny's in cosplay after Comic-Con.
I've definitely done the cosplay thing. I've definitely gone in after filming a movie where I had been beaten up, and 2 of
I
the other
remember that
cast members
story.
have been shot.
And nobody asked you any questions, I bet.
No.
Never like, I don't get paid enough.
Denny's is the quintessential place, like in any action movie, where the hero can just go in, he's been shot, beat up, ask for a cup of coffee, and no one
questions will be
cares.
asked.
It's like at the end of
This is
Adventures.
Tuesday, man. Yep.
I don't know what it is about Denny waiters and waitresses, but they just don't care.
They don't get paid enough to care.
They don't get paid enough to care. It's like, you're having a bad time right now, and
So am I.
I'm not getting paid enough to care. Here's your beverages and your food. Go away.
That makes it a little better, but I'm not gonna ask.
So, when you guys get there, Alpheus is waiting for you outside the Denny's. And he's like, okay, I know that was terrible.
That's an understatement.
You're not wrong.
Hopefully this will convince you that this is where you want to be. And he will lead you guys into the Denny's. The entire Denny's is pretty much empty except for one. Someone has taken a whole bunch of tables and put them together in like the middle. Sitting at the table, there are 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. Alpheus will bring you in. He'll be like, okay, this is our traditional after party after the meeting, where we can actually, hopefully, set plans in motion, get stuff done. So, and he'll walk you up. The first guy who's sitting at the table, and as you guys walk in, they all sort of look over, and everybody, either they wave or there's like the head nod. And as Alpheus brings you over, the first guy will stand up. He is a tall, wiry fellow with really short-cut hair. And he'll be like, Alpheus will be like, everybody, this is probably the most experienced or well-respected member of the Free Council. This is Payne. Before you ask, there's an E on the end, as in Thomas Payne.
Thank you.
And Payne will be like, Payne will offer to shake each of your hands. Not the weird, like, but just he'll be like, yeah, I'm Payne. Good to meet you.
Just to remind me, what's the significance of Payne? Thomas Payne?
Thomas Payne was one of the founding fathers,
Okay.
and
Give
he
me
wrote...
liberty or give me death.
Okay, I did not do well.
So, like, glad to see you guys. Glad to see you survived your foray into the meeting.
It was interesting.
If you could call it that.
Something.
The next person that he will introduce you to is an older, like probably 40s, mid 40s, fellow with dark, starting to salt and pepper hair. And Alfie's like, "This is Raynor." Same sort of thing. He's like, "Yeah, good to see you guys." Next, you are introduced to a very young-looking man. He's got a full beard, dirty blonde hair, and he's introduced as Magnus. You are then introduced to a sharp-featured blonde man named Joplin.
Joplin.
Janice?
I was
Like
as in
goblin,
Janice?
like goblin with a J.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
actually, well, with a P too, but
Joplin.
Joplin.
Like
I was
Janice Joplin.
Yes.
Or Joplin, Missouri.
Give me a second to highlight my
I'm
people
waiting
on my
for
list real
Elon.
fast.
I mean, this is 2019,
Yeah.
so there's a possibility.
It wouldn't be
Hey,
well known that
2019
he's
Elon, I think he
completely
was,
passionate. Yeah.
Or Bezos.
People were still like, oh yeah,
He
Elon
might be a
Musk.
genius.
I
Yeah.
think Elon at this point was smoking weed on Joe Rogan's podcast.
That sounds
at
about right.
2019.
I was just say, I don't know about the rest of you. I feel like in 2019, I was like, you seem crazy, sir. You seem insane,
I was
but
starting to think it, but I was just starting to think it.
I feel like that's
Was-
when people were still like,
Yeah,
okay.
You could be a mad scientist.
Also, is this the year
or
his
you
son
could
was born?
be-
Whatever you
The
proud you remember
X,
the
whatever.
weird whatever it is.
wait, how to?
Okay, I was
Oh,
gonna look
That's a good
something up
question,
and I forgot
actually.
what now.
did I miss somebody? List? Oh, I did. Okay, sorry. I was like, I only have 6 people highlighted. I missed someone. All right, you are next introduced to somebody. He has like a runner's build, shaggy brown hair, named Gall. You are then introduced to a very large, overweight man named Thenardier.
Oh, yeah, 2019 was.
Excuse me?
Wait, what is? Hold on. One more time.
Thenardier,
Thenardier.
Ah, master of the house.
master of the house, keeper of the coin.
Is that a Game of Thrones
Les
reference?
Mis.
That's
Les
the
Mis.
Oh, the Nez reference.
We did that in the same key.
Yes, 2019 was when his son was born.
Okay, so 2019 was when people were starting to go, ah.
Yeah.
a
And
weird presentation
lastly,
of your
you are
son.
introduced to a thin young woman with red hair named Alice.
Oh boy, you're gonna fall somewhere and not come back, or go on a drug trip.
Do you make that comment out loud?
Alice in Chains.
No,
Or under
no. Zach is very more
like-
polite.
That is one. Yeah. So she, since you got it, she gives off punk rock vibes.
Yeah.
So not Alice in Wonderland, Alice in Chains.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
I wouldn't know that.
Yep. And there are seats at the table for you guys. And Payne will be like, yeah, go ahead and sit down. We were just gonna get started.
Were these guys at the meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Each of them was definitely at the meeting.
I don't think they like stuck out at the time,
Mm-mm.
but I'm just like, oh, they were at the meeting.
So is it the same kind of like ratio of tech bro to hipster, or
Or these
Or
sort
these,
of
like,
outliers.
skewing one
bro.
direction or the other?
Kind of feels like these are like outliers.
Possibly.
Towards tech
I
bro.
think Alice is the key.
Stir.
Roughly, it's weighted a little more heavily towards like hipster by like one person,
Okay.
counting Alpheus. So like, it's roughly
Alpheus doesn't count
Yeah.
because he
because he
skews it both directions.
So you have 5 seats at one end of the. Actually, unless any of you make a fuss about it, they have interspersed your seats in between several of them, so you're sort of
That's
distributed
this
across the table.
Good
Okay.
one.
And then Alpheus will
Whatever.
sit down next to Thenardier. And he'll sort of be like, all right, guys, so democracy at its finest. Doesn't always work great, but these are some of the more focused and helpful members of the Free Council.
Introduce myself. Hello, I'm Oris. Hello, Oris, whatever.
Oh, I need to write down everyone's shadow names. I forgot to do that.
I have them too,
I
yeah.
have them here.
Loco.
So food starts coming out. And he's like, if you guys, so Payne is like, if you guys want anything specific, just let me know. But we just have sort of a few general things we order. At this point, we know most of our regulars' usual order. So, but we ordered like a smattering of stuff if you guys want it. Anyway, what did you guys think of the meeting?
I sort of got lost after spreadsheets was mentioned, and
I really like that group of folks. I'm not gonna lie, like the little adventuring party group.
Oh, the
For,
Champlain
like,
Charters. Yes, yes.
They're nice
The
guys.
Yep.
I think it's. I know what it's like to have maybe an interest that's more niche, and the excitement of sharing it with people who find it. I think it's very neat that people can unabashedly share their niche interests with each other and argue them. I don't know what they were talking about half the time.
I did
But-
not love the hodgepodgeness of the debating and like that was a chaotic mess. I appreciate the liberty of it all, but it was something. Like the people, don't know if I like the style.
That's fair. It is very open-ended, and we try and keep it that way on purpose.
Fair.
So, what do you guys think about the boathouse?
I mean, we were there when it sort of
Became a problem.
became a problem.
Really?
They know that, don't they?
No.
Wait,
Can
no,
I
we
can I
haven't
can I
shown-
track back that if okay?
So-
We have not told anybody
so
that.
as,
Okay,
as
okay.
you start to
It's been a
as
Yeah,
you
you're
start to
good.
say something, you looking over at Dion, he's just like,
Shut up.
not much about it, only what we've heard from all of the reports we've been told just by people.
Seems like a wild mess.
That is probably accurate. Hopefully, announcements to the contrary will be able to. The committee will be able to get permission from the concilium so that people don't have to be sneaking in the middle of the night. Oh, because inevitably they're gonna get caught.
yeah, I imagine that would be a bad time.
What happens if they get caught?
It depends what they get caught doing. I mean, Lysander knows that we have good intentions for the most part, but depends what they get caught doing. And depends which arrows catch them.
I mean, it seems like it might be a big mess to step into if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but there's always going to be the problem that, the concilium won't take our advice seriously enough to enact it. But we work on that. Anyway.
What advice would that be?
Well, I don't know right now. Just historically, as you probably picked up on from some of the comments in the meeting, we have a rocky relationship with the other orders to an extent because we're more freeform. What liberty, I think, was the term you used. So they often, even if we have good ideas or good recommendations or have a process, like they won't take it seriously. Like I've tried helping the Champlain Charters several times try and get the other orders on board with like their mapping software that they built. Leon created like a custom mapping software to try and keep track of all the data they were collecting, and they just they basically scoffed and were like, it's impossible to map, and like we don't know that for sure, and we have useful information, but they won't take it because it's us. But
Even if it's always changing, it seems like it's important information to have.
right, And like you could, so yeah, there's some friction there, and I try and help smooth it over. I am the sort of unofficial. He looks over at Alphys. What did you call me? And Alphys is like, the gray hairs. The gray hairs of the Free Council.
Huh. How you feel about that?
I have been here the longest.
Fair.
And given that I have I have a strong personal relationship with most of the heads of the other orders, it helps. And so about this point, more food is delivered. He's like, and everybody just starts eating, and everybody starts small talking a little bit. So, Keith, you have your choice of having small talk with Raynor or Magnus.
Magnus.
All right. So you guys will start chatting, and Magnus will be like, so what do you do for work?
Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I freelance as a video producer and content creator for one of the local TV stations. And,
Oh, right on. Which one? Yep.
Nice.
And had some stuff on the air, quite a bit. But that, since it is freelance, doesn't come open all the time. So on the side, I do handyman stuff too. So.
Oh, really? What kind of handyman stuff?
Little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything, really. Carpentry, plumbing, electricity, running electric.
Huh.
Pretty much everything.
How good are you at plumbing?
Haven't had anybody complain about me flooding out their basement yet.
Before I leave, I'll need to get your info. My company's actually been looking to hire a couple extra plumbers.
You got it.
So, they pay pretty well. I mean, not as good as they pay me, but you're not welding, so.
Yeah. I hear you.
That's cool. So what do you like to do in your free time?
Well, just got into trying to figure out how to run D&D games. It was a lot of fun.
He will start chatting with you. You will learn that he is a huge tabletop dude.
Awesome.
He really loves Warhammer 40K.
Haven't got into that one yet.
So yeah, he'll chat. He seemed pretty cool.
Cool.
Jamal, you have your choice of chatting with Gaul or Joplin.
Well, gentlemen, what do y'all do?
You gotta pick one.
Do I? Oh, dang it. Jamal, you said Gaul or who?
Joplin.
Joplin.
So same sort of stuff. So if you start like, what do you do? He'll be like, I work a cashier job, but I am hoping that my music career takes off soon. I'm in a barber shop quartet.
Joplin.
That is an interesting. Like I like barbershop, like the tight harmonies and all. That's interesting stuff. I don't hear a whole heck of a lot of it, but
It's not the most popular. We're hoping that it'll gain some traction.
I'm intrigued. You'll have to let me know when y'all are performing.
Yeah, for sure. What do you do?
That. Well, I'm a little bit here, there, and everywhere, but my main things, I'm an artist and I teach art down at the Space Gallery. Well, I'm a curator part-time for the Space Gallery, but I also work with the Space Arts youth development. And that's my main thing. I'm the, I guess, front runner for their youth development program.
Right on.
So getting the kids interested in arts and kind of giving them a place after school if they've got rough situations, things like that, and figuring out how to community build in that area through the arts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I really like it a lot. Got a little volunteer stuff here and there on the side, but that's my main thing. And man, I freaking love the kids. They're awesome. They're great to work with. It's cool to see what they're about.
Nice. As you guys chat a little bit more, he's into music. Joplin also, with Gaul, who is sitting on your other side, they run cross-country at the university.
Really? Huh. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So these are younger guys.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
they're probably
awesome,
like
man.
23, 24.
Okay. That's really awesome. You got any like personal records you're trying to beat?
So they're going to nothing impressive. Last year, Gaul topped in the top 10 for the state.
I feel like that's pretty impressive. Like, I tend to mainly run when being chased by something that could hurt me, so I think that being top 10 in the state, that's pretty high up there.
I mean, it never hurts, right?
I don't know. That's awesome, man.
Whimsy.
Your choice.
Unfortunately for you, you are not sitting next to Alice.
That's
Uh-oh.
actually not who I wanted to sit by.
Who do you want to sit by?
I want to sit by Thenardier.
Okay, I was about to say, you are sitting in... You have Thenardier on one side, and you would have Gaul on the other side.
I actually want to talk to both of them, but I immediately am going to start talking to Thenardier.
Okay.
Your name.
I'm master of the house, keeper of the coin.
I get laid all the time.
He didn't, though.
No, I'm joking. But, ignore that. That was an inside joke of my own.
But all the bad things.
What bad things?
I mean, do you loot dead bodies on a battlefield?
How many
Do
battlefields
you
are around?
Small children?
No, not the last time I checked. But if I did, would I tell you?
Ew. He inspires the right, like, response.
Alpheus will lean over and be like, don't take him too seriously. He likes to make people uncomfortable, cause chaos.
I mean, that, I guess, works.
And he'll just look at you like,
That is a fascinating name choice. I'm assuming seen the musical, watched the movie,
Of
and
course.
read the book? Okay. That's a lot for me to take in. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been sitting here thinking about your name the entire time, so I guess congratulations, you have done what you wanted with your name.
I'm very proud of it. It's good to get that kind of reaction out of people.
I mean, you're talking to somebody named Whimsy, so...
Yeah, that's a choice. At this point, Alpheus will lean over. He also chose that because he runs the finances for our cabal.
I kind of wanted
And then lean back.
to master of the house, keeper of the coin. So what do you do in the real world? What's your job? Are you in finance?
Sort of.
Sketchy finance.
Sometimes.
I think we might be friends. You are an interesting person. Hold on. I have a question for Gaul.
Oh, for Gaul? Okay.
Yes. Okay, so when I think of Gaul, I think...
The gout.
I actually, the first thing that comes to my mind is from Wheel of Time. But I doubt that's what you're going for. So where does Gaul come from?
I am a big fan of France and spent a few years there. So Gaul, like France during the Roman Empire. Gaul.
Got it. Okay. That was my question for Gaul.
Zach.
Yeah.
You are sitting between Thenardier and Alpheus.
Oh, fudge. Alpheus. We'll choose Alpheus.
Okay.
Because at least I know who that is.
You get to sit by Alice then.
You having fun, Alpheus? Or are you having fun? Alpheus? You having fun, Logo?
I guess if fun has to do with technology and spreadsheets.
Okay, you say that, but there are some people that I can introduce to you in the Free Council that are really into old school ways of doing things.
I'm not even into that either. It's just how I live.
Season 2.
Alpheus is gonna look at you and be like, I don't even know. What are you into?
Let's see. Let's see. My musical tastes don't go past the 70s. I haven't read a book published probably since the 70s. I drive a truck from the 70s. Just 70s.
I'm getting a vibe that the 70s are where you wish you were.
Not really. It's just I inherited a lot of stuff from my grandpa when he died, and I sort of just have was raised by him, and I lived out in the woods. I didn't get a lot of cultural enhancement of my life.
What do you do in all your time then?
Besides my work,
Yeah.
I go home and do whatever. Fix my car, read a Louis L'Amour,
Oh gosh.
put in a VHS of an old black and white movie, John Wayne mostly.
We need to get you out of that trailer.
Why?
And out and
What's
about.
wrong with- What's wrong with?
I'm gonna make a note of this.
Alpheus, get yourself out of his comfort zone.
Meanwhile,
Kidnapping.
you have a very fun choice.
Yes.
You either can talk to Alice or Payne.
Ooh.
Well, that's tempting. But as the only kind of high-ish ranking female person, I kind of want to talk to Alice because there doesn't seem to be a lot of females up there. So I'll just be like, Alice in Chains.
Absolutely. Rock
Not
on.
my taste in music, but I caught that.
I'm glad.
Really clocked it. And I guess I'd be like, I'll just come around. I don't see very many females high up in these ranks.
Oh, we're not like there's not rankings here. Like we're not like.
Well, I guess because you're more involved. He said.
Oh, we're not more involved. We're like this is just like our clique.
Oh. Is this your cabal?
No.
Just friends.
Yeah, and like we each of us we feel like we sort of work and we have a similar workflow. So like everybody vibes together. We're not as chaotic. We're also not quite as like niche or like fringe as in terms of like what we're into. We all have reasonably good social skills, which is not true for everybody in the Free Council. But like there's like we're not like at a higher. Oh, okay. Other than Payne sort of is like he has sort of he carries a little more weight with him just because he's been around for so long and he's done so much badass stuff. But the rest of us like we all get one vote. So, like, we're not, like, higher ranking than anybody.
Gotcha. So, as an average day of being in the Free Council, what do you do?
I mean... Hang on. I have to see what I... Where did I put Alice? Okay. I mean, average day, like, I don't do a ton different than, like, your average day. Like, I go to work, I come home. The only difference is, study magic, investigate mysteries, help out my cabal mates.
What do you do for work?
I work at a music store, actually. Yeah.
Of course.
It doesn't make a lot of money, but it's a pretty sweet gig.
It's sometimes not about the money. I mean, it is for me, but I can see the value of a job that's not something you hate when you get up.
Yeah, like, I make enough money to get by, and that's all I need.
Gotcha. You remind me a lot of Whimsy. I'm assuming you're very goth.
I believe the
Put
term
together.
you used was corporate goth.
Yep.
I forgot. Yep. I'm like, remind me a lot of Whimsy. Got the badassery going on.
You can see that.
So, do you So I guess you guys don't receive any like orders per se, like the.
Not really.
Time
Like so, like at the
Arrow.
thing, like if they're you can bring something to vote. So like they've formed a committee. So like if you were nominated to be on the committee, then you'd want to go to the meeting and you'd make plans. But like there's not the only orders that can come to you have to be by consent.
Gotcha.
of the majority. So like,
Okay, gotcha. So say if Adamantine Arrow or any of the other ones are saying, we need the Free Council to do something, maybe.
okay, well that gets a little tricky.
Oh.
Normally, if they wanted, like, they could ask us and then it'd be voted on. If you're specifically talking about the Adamantine Arrow, it is technically concilium law that if the ruling council declares martial law, essentially, they can deputize anybody because whatever they're dealing with is big enough they need more people. So like that one's a little different, but that's like because we aren't big enough to have to run the concilium or be our own separate thing. So we still have to listen to their laws.
Okay. What made you want to join the Free Council? Because I'm seeing ties and suits and beards and flannel, and then I see you.
I mean, I align more with the beards and flannel crowd probably, but I like the freedom, and I like that. They're trying to do new stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and people appreciate that. Like it's like you said, right? Like the people having their own like niche thing and getting to talk about it. Like that's appreciated here, instead of having to conform to some like expectation or like certain things being like, oh, we're not okay with you doing that. Like in the Free Council, you can basically be whatever you want and do whatever you want, and everybody gets an equal say in what happens.
Gotcha. Okay, then I guess I'd just kind of then fill it with a little bit more small talk about like favorite place to eat.
She tells you about a really good dive bar.
Nice. If there were any like crazies that she has run into and all the.
So when you ask about crazies, she will be like magic crazy or regular crazy?
Regular crazy. Like, who's just kind of like,
Oh,
what are you doing here?
so many people. So many batshit crazy people wander into our store. And she'll go off. She's got stories similar to stories Stephanie has about people doing stupid things.
Which I can appreciate. I'll be like, oh my gosh, and they probably put it in the wrong spot because it's too hard to go back to the alphabet and put the. I don't know. I'm thinking of a record store. But yeah.
So as you guys talk with them, the general vibe you get, it's really Payne will at different points interject, and he starts trying to sort of steer some of the conversations. The general vibe you get is that the Free Council gets really organized and is really good about getting stuff done in two circumstances. Things that are really, really, really big and pressing, and things that are really, 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 really not important and small scale and tiny. Like, if you wanted to organize them to buy up GameStop stock to prevent GameStop from going under, everyone would be on board with it. Also, if there was an existential crisis that threatened, Burlington, Vermont, they would be on board. If it falls in the middle, that's where you get all the debating and the arguing and the back and forth and he tries to sort of help you guys understand that sort of version of it. So throughout it, he will be sort of like, it's not like that was a really, really nasty version of it because it wasn't important enough for enough people to actually take it seriously, but it wasn't so unimportant that people thought it was funny or was like, it was important enough that they cared, but not important enough that they actually got their heads out of their asses.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And then it is small talk. They're all joking around. You can tell that they're a pretty, not tight-knit, but they're a pretty good group of friends. They're all familiar with each other. You pick up that Raynor is an old school computer programmer. Started on MS-DOS.
Wow.
I was going to say Fortran, but okay.
Not quite. And you actually find out that he at one point helped work for Apple before it failed the first time. So he old school programmer, really into old school networks and sort of retro technology now. And there's no talk really about magic necessarily or anything unless one of you guys specifically brings it up. It's just a group of people just sort of hanging out.
kind of enjoy the conversation and just trying to learn about these folks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Enjoying the vibe.
Yeah. I might, I forget. Is Denny's the one that has like a array of syrups that they?
No, that's IHOP.
Okay, never mind then.
Does Denny's not do that?
No.
They do, but they don't have them out on the table
Oh,
for you. You have to
right,
ask
right,
for
right.
it. IHOP is the one that has like all 4 of them on the table.
Okay,
Got it.
gotcha. Okay, never mind. Then I, at some point, be like, "Ooh, they have orange marmalade." I almost never have orange marmalade these days. I like orange marmalade.
I will make a note to have orange marmalade in the house.
You know, every now and then, you just gotta like appreciate your own inner 70-year-old grandmother. That's fine.
I'm like, it's so boring. You just have strawberry and grape. Orange marmalade.
I don't know that I've ever had marmalade.
Natalie or Whimsy?
Both, actually.
Stephanie loves orange
It's
marmalade.
actually pretty good,
Noted.
I'll always grab
It's
orange
odd.
marmalade.
but it's good.
I mean, I know what it is.
Yeah, it's weird, but
Do you
good.
even, like, what jams have you even eaten?
I'm gonna
you
check
jam?
something.
Do you know what jams
Do you-
are?
Do you even jam, man?
You're like, do you know Jam?
Can you read?
Okay, Lance, do you know how a book works?
No, I don't.
You say something one time.
Okay. For reference, Natalie was showing me how to crochet something, and she was like, "So, what do you so
I'm not
what,
gonna remind
so do
you.
you know how to do anything?" So, what do you know? What do you
For
know
reference,
how
a
to
few
do?
days ago, Natalie asked me if I knew how books worked.
In Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I wasn't going to give that context.
It was a lot funnier out of context.
Lance, can you read?
Can you even read, bro?
Certainly not.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I make like little random conversations, just kind of like. Also, yeah, getting the vibe of the people, just like depending on how they answer and stuff like that. You know.
Were there any specific questions any of you had for any of the individuals or the group?
I was gonna say no, but the way you say that makes me think that maybe there was one. I was just
I just don't know.
Think of anything.
I do ask what they think of the Guardians of the Veil.
That's an interesting question.
You get, I mean, so
I ask Alice. I'm like,
at being a group of, you ask
I
Alice.
ask Alice. I'm like, what do you think of the Guardians of the Veil? Because they.
Anybody who's that worried about like the corruption in other people has got to be corrupt to the core.
Oh, interesting.
It's an interesting way to look
Kind
at
of
it.
like the calls coming from inside the house.
Exactly.
Mm.
Like anybody who has that dim a view of people, I think they're projecting.
Ooh, interesting.
That is interesting.
Interesting thought.
So, like, how is it, like, what made you guys individually, like, decide that this was your stick, this was your bread and butter?
Like,
What was the
honesty,
pushing
freedom.
factor there?
Yeah, so like the overall the overall vibe that you get from each of them. There's a few small details, but in general it was because there was no like expectations or requirements in terms of like what you did. It's sort of like you can be with whatever kind of mage, you can pursue whatever kind of projects you want, as long as you're not breaking, as long as you're not doing harm to others or to yourself to an unhealthy degree. Like you can pursue whatever projects you want. You have equal say in anything that happens. So like everybody has a say in what the organization decides to do, and you get to be an individual. The other thing that you get from probably like 3 of them that's sort of a big selling point for them was that it's not just about magic. It's about being living in the modern world and being a person and a human, and the way they described it is sort of like being alive and not being shackled to the past. Like magic is a huge part of your life, but it is not the totality of your life.
Yeah, I respect that. I think that's... You're right, like, this reads a lot better than the meeting.
Alfie's will be like, yeah, the meeting, like, it depends who's in charge and what's going on, but the meetings can get kind of...
It's important
chaotic.
to go to the meeting so that you
Yeah.
know what you're getting into on the other side, but it's not
Yeah.
inclusive.
Yeah, like...
And Payne had a good point. Like, when it is something really serious, everybody gets focused it's just when it's this sort of middling, like, how important is this really, that you get sort of mixed results.
Does the weirdness of the boathouse kind of fall into like the middle just because it's not
Like, it's so Alpheus, you can tell his answer is like, he's answering in such a way as to not give away that he has a lot more details about your guys' involvement and what you've experienced. Like, you can tell from that way that he's like, oh, I'm definitely making sure to answer this so that I don't give that away. But he's like, yeah, like, it's interesting, and it's probably dangerous given what we can all see about it. But it's not like it's not like it's swallowing up the town. It's not like we don't know what started. Like, there's a lot that is not known about it that makes it interesting, but not like a huge issue that like stresses people out and weighs on them. Add to that the fact that then people feel like the Concilium is trying to, like, you know, lock it down and not let people investigate on their own terms. Like,
That monster could eat a city block.
We're over here like, yeah, it's totally probably not that important.
Jamal's got like massive size.
yeah, I'm sure it's not a problem. I mean, we don't know how it happened. Yeah, absolutely.
So none of us talk. What's Payne's deal?
Do you ask him?
Yeah, I'll ask Payne. What Payne? Yes.
Specifically, what's your deal?
What's your deal?
Payne will just sort of
Because he seems out of place.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, I'm just an old man making my way in the world.
Isn't he in his 40s?
downtown?
Payne? He doesn't look like it. He looks like he's in his mid to late 30s, maybe. Rayner is in, like, his 40s.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Question to follow up with that, Braden-wise. Everyone we've seen, does 40 look like old? Or have I seen someone older?
You have seen enough.
Like,
You've seen enough older people that you don't think that there's like people are
Like,
dying
yeah, like,
off before they
okay.
get that far.
okay.
Also, sorry, I messed up. His response when you ask him what his deal is, he would have said, "I'm just a simple man making my way in the world."
Not an old man.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds very Thomas Paine.
Yeah.
So do you ask it, press anymore? Like, that's it.
I mean, yeah, I will. So what do you do for the... sorry. What do you do for the whole free council?
I just do whatever the orders are. And Alpheus will be like, you hear him slap the table and lean over. Don't let him off the hook for this. This guy has done more badass stuff for the Free Council, and we don't even know the details on half of it because it was secret. And Payne is sort of like, you could tell he's sort of like, he is trying not to get into it, and he's like, okay. "10 years ago, there was some conflict with the Seers of the Throne that heated up, and I helped cool things down. I did a lot of work with. We formed sort of a cabal that was made up of people from each order. So
Order. That's the word.
so like Lysander and Minerva and me and Helix and a couple other people were sort of like at the forefront of that. And then so somebody who would it be?
Wait.
Gaul leans forward. He's like, they did like some SEAL Team 6 shit. We're pretty sure. Like he won't tell us that that's what they did, but we are pretty sure that that's the sort of stuff that they did. And I'm just saying, Lysander and Minerva are like the heads of their orders now, and Helix is like the main messenger for Spider. I'm just saying.
Whoa. Have I heard Seers of the Throne?
Yeah, that was, so the three groups that there's like the crazy people who worship the Abyss, there's you guys. The Seers of the Thrones are the ones that basically sold themselves, they do the work for the Exarchs to keep everybody away from magic in exchange for like wealth and power.
Okay. And then Spider?
You have not heard Spider.
I thought that we.
Then I'll say...
You have, and you have.
Okay.
Then I'll say as Loco, Spider?
Oh, Spider's the supposed head of the Guardians of the Veil.
Supposed?
What?
Is there not? Do they not have a leader, or is it more just?
Alpheus will be like, I don't think anyone's ever actually acknowledged that they've seen the dude.
Huh.
Okay.
So he was asking Payne what he did, and Payne was like, 10 years ago there was like there was some conflict with the Seers of the Throne. He was in a cabal, like, dealing with it. And he specifically says he was in a cabal with Lysander, Minerva, Helix, and some other people, and somebody else was like, don't let him downplay it. Like, Lysander's now the head of the Arrow, and Minerva's the head of her order, and Helix is, like, the main messenger for Spider.
Is... When he said some other people, is this the Cassandra Helena cabal
You don't know.
that they were part of? I'm gonna ask.
I guess, I'll be like, oh, spider, or something like that.
Yeah.
Casually.
So when you ask about that, they'll be like, oh, no, that was a different... This was before their time.
Like, I'm
I
like,
refuse to believe that Banshee had anything to... Never mind.
I think I met spider.
You did not. You met Helix.
I met helix.
But they talked
He
about
he
Spider.
told you that Spider, because you asked like who makes the calls. He told you that Spider is the leader of the Guardians of the Veil, but
The
really is.
Seers.
Seers of the Throne.
Seers.
It also has a lot of implications as a name. That is a very overly broad name to use.
I'm a little disappointed in myself, honestly.
It's a man that could get squashed like a bug because of his name.
And kill you slowly.
Okay, well, calm
It's
down.
at the center of the web,
Yeah,
pulling all the strings.
Yeah, I was at the center of the web, pulling on the strings. Anyway, so basically the gist is like people are like they say Spider's the head of their order, but like nobody's ever actually seen the dude. So like, is he even real,
Okay.
or is that a lie too?
No, maybe you have seen him, but he just pretends he's someone else.
Also, so the significance of this for you guys is you have now learned that Payne, who's sort of the most respected member of the Free Council, and Lysander, who is the head of the Adamantine Arrow, and somebody named Minerva, and Helix, who you met, who was recruiting you into the Guardians of the Veil, are all in one cabal together.
That is a powerful cabal.
Who's
So all-
Minerva?
Oh, Minerva's the head of the Mysterium.
That checks out. So all of the heads are in a cabal together.
That
Which-
seems...
feels
Honestly,
sus.
sketchy as hell.
So again, Alpheus will be like, yeah, they're called the Old Mill Alumni.
So, okay. I have questions.
Okay.
So you can tell Payne's like, fine.
I'm so sorry.
It's
but-
fine. They like to remind me of my supposedly super awesome past.
I mean, is it not sketchy to anybody else that the leaders of all of the orders are in the same cabal?
Or were.
Or
Are.
were?
Are.
Or they
this
are.
has been present tense.
Okay.
Are in the
Okay.
cabal.
It makes me lift
I
an
mean,
eyebrow.
would it be better if they were all in different cabals?
I mean, to me it just feels like... And please don't take this the wrong way. This is me trying to learn this new world that I have been thrown into. But it sort of feels like that means that there is a very small group of people who is actually pulling the strings for the entire thing, not just their separate orders.
I mean, that could be, like, that's kind of true for the Diamond Orders, because, like, you know, the head basically calls the shots. It's not true here. Like, I only get one vote. And, like, sure, people might listen to me when I talk, but, like, that I can't make them vote for me. Or vote for what I want. So, like, I can't necessarily pull strings. It also has advantages, because it means that we're not going to, like, they're not going to be at each other's throats. And they're not going to be trying to, like, compete with each other, because we're in the same cabal, because we know each other really well, we trust each other, we're friends.
And theoretically...
Or in the case of Lysander and Minerva, you're, like, sleeping together, too. But
Write that down, write that down.
I'm like, oh wow.
What was that? Sorry.
in the case of Lysander and Minerva, you're, like, sleeping together, too.
Oh.
That's either gonna end super great or super bad.
Lysander's
Lysander is the head of the
Either-
Arrow.
Okay, so the Arrow and
The Arrow and the Mysterium, their two heads are in a
together.
relationship.
Are literally in bed together.
I will let you guys know, because it's been a while. This is not the first time you've heard that. In one of the other episodes, Whimsy was asking how relationships work, and Alpheus was like, sometimes they're terrible, because Cassandra and Helena used to be in the Cabal, and then there was some falling out. And he's like, but sometimes it works fine, like the head of the Arrow and the head of the Mysterium are in a
Right.
relationship together.
But we
Yeah,
didn't
but it's
know
also
the
been
names.
several months
Yeah.
since we heard that.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Also, like-
reminding you. Like, this is not new.
So is that not something that people worry about? That all of you are in the same cabal?
Oh my gosh, what's it called? You can't work for Uber and Lyft. A
Conflict of interest.
thank you.
I mean,
Conflict of interest?
I don't think so. Like, they're not... What should we do? Be in our own separate cabals?
I don't know. I just
Well, I can see good and bad, right? Because, like, on the good side, like, if y'all are all part of a cabal together, then you're more motivated to get along together instead of putting the cabals against each other, or the orders against each other for reasons that are silly or something like that. But also, that means if your cabal has, like, some kind of agenda that is only its own, then y'all are controlling the power for...
Well, I mean, they control the power and the orders, but, like, it's not like none of us are on the ruling council of the Concilium. We can't pass law.
But you can certainly influence movement.
I mean, yeah, but so could you if you have enough friends or people like you enough, or you're powerful enough, or...
But how do we get powerful enough? Like, rubbing shoulders with people like...
Or you
In your
become
order?
a master of your chosen arcana, or, like...
Alright.
Like, yeah, I can see why maybe you'd be concerned, but also, like, they're my friends, I've known them the longest, I trust them, and saying that, like, well, because you could have power, anybody could get power if they wanted to, and they work for it. Like, it's not some special thing I have that I have power and you don't. I've been in the Concilium longer, and through my actions, I've proven to people that they can trust me. So they
Not
listen
used
when
to
I
that
talk.
dynamic, man.
And again, like, you can ask the other orders if they feel like they're being used to further an agenda they don't agree with. The Free Council, I can ask people to agree with me, but I can't make them. I can't vote for them.
That's true.
So,
I guess in the
like,
free
I
council,
am
there's a
one
little bit more
vote in the
balance.
sea of everyone.
I can see some extra checks and balances, especially in your role. Makes sense.
And I feel like a lot of people are, have some faith in it. Like, we all, we paid our dues in the early days, so.
does it help with the orders not stepping on each other's toes that you all know each other so well?
Yeah, and it makes, like, working together or navigating each other, because, like, we're not worried, like, we trust each other, so we're not worried that the people calling the shots in the other orders here are trying to, like, muscle in on our territory. Now, that doesn't always trickle down the right way, and, like, you still can have problems where other people in the order could be trying to, like, could have their own agenda. But we do at least know that, like, the top shot caller, we trust them, because we've known them the longest and we've been through stuff together.
Interesting. I feel like in normal world politics, I would be very concerned with this arrangement, which is probably where some of my suspicion is coming from, but given how politics and things seem to work in this society, it might...
It's all going to come down to how much you trust each of us.
That's fair.
If you think we're all corrupt and that we're trying to do something evil, then yeah. But also, if you think that we're all, stand-up people and you can trust us, then it also means that we can all work together to fight corruption in other places. It just depends how you feel about us as individuals.
Yeah. And I mean, so far I've been okay with
Yeah. Mostly.
those of you who I've met. I am just...
It is. When you see how normal society plays out often enough, I get how, like, my concerns regarding how all you guys, like, you have to choose between this good thing, that good thing, all of these things that we should all like, and stuff like that. Like, I like that there are people who all are motivated to get along and naturally.
Well,
kinda
and
get
your
along
choice. It's not
together
like you're.
outside.
It's not like the orders are supposed to be like. It's not like they compete against each other, right? Like we're all part of the diamond. We all work together towards one end. You're just picking what job basically you want to do.
When's the last time you sat through all your sales pitches?
It's a long time.
I feel like maybe the pitch you got did not sound like the pitches we got. Because, I don't know, it has that vibe to it, right? Am I making that up?
It does sound a little bit more. I get a little bit of both sides.
You got
I
the
get that
goofy
it's more
girls
picking
everywhere.
a job, and that some of it is like, oh yeah, we don't get super along with these people, and oh yeah, they do something that's kind of dumb.
So Payne is gonna be like, he's gonna stop for a minute, and you see him thinking. He's like, I think it's sort of like if you had to choose between being like a police officer or a doctor or a lawyer. All three of those jobs are like important, right? And like in theory, all three of them for the most part are like trying to help people just in different ways. But that doesn't mean they get along with each other, right? Like how often the police get frustrated because of things lawyers do, or doctors get frustrated at the actions of police or the actions of lawyers. Like they don't always get along because the nature of their job, they get impacted by decisions other people make, and sometimes people make bad decisions. But like it you should let me know who you feel like gave you the impression that we were all supposed to be like fighting each other, because that's never supposed to be the impression you get. You have to decide what facet of things you want to focus on.
And I'm not even gonna like say that I got the impression it was so much a fighting each other thing, as it definitely feels more like competitive.
Oh, that it is, right? Because like the more people you have in your order, the more work you can get done.
But yeah, like that's there were some conflicting things between what you just said there and what you said a couple seconds ago. But I get what you're saying. Like, I get the gist.
I do think that my impression of fighting each other was because some of the groups have opposing ideas. Mysterium is stay in the past, control information. Silver Ladder is everyone should reclaim their birthright. It feels like they have opposing views, so in my brain that interpret it as we're pulling in opposite directions, so we want the other to not succeed.
And the way that people
Sometimes
handle that with,
the orders do pull in opposite directions, but that's not how it is supposed to work. We're supposed to be pulling everybody together.
Yeah.
But not everybody gets on with that idea. I can say that all of the heads of the other orders understand that we're supposed to be working together, not apart.
Yeah. See, and that actually makes me kind of happy to know. At the same time, when you see that model in standard life, there tends to be some issues with it. So, like, I get both, like, the advantage and why people are a little concerned.
Quick technical point of order, your camera's frozen.
Nice. Excellent.
The state of disappointment from all of us.
Always.
So, do I deal with it? Do we find a stopping point? How do we want to handle that?
Go ahead and deal with it.
Okay. One sec. Okay.
Okay, and we're back. Our technical difficulties solved.
Lance is back.
So,
Yay!
after you guys something dawns on all of you. the whole time, this entire time, when you guys were doing small talk and everything, like, everybody around the table started talking with each other. When you asked Payne a question and he started responding, everybody went quiet and just listened to what he had to say. And, like, so that is your sort of litmus test of, like, that is the level of influence he has among at least this group, where it's like, this dude talks, people shut up and listen.
Okay. And again, I do hope that you don't take the questions the wrong way.
No, like, it's, and even if you think it's, like, that's your problem, not mine.
Yeah. I mean, well, yes. I also don't want you to think that I do not appreciate you as a person and what you guys are doing here.
Just trying to get a feel for the landscape.
Because I still don't understand what the Free Council does.
Whatever they want.
Yeah,
The Free Council does what they
feel
want.
like needs to be done.
Which, more accurately, is probably whatever they can get away with.
When they say in an official meeting, don't get caught, that is the vibe that I
Yep.
get.
Yes,
Just
because
don't get
each
caught.
group seems to pull in a direction.
Mhm.
And for Free Council, I'm like, which direction are you pulling? Just
I will. So it is to help. When you initially got your spiel of like, hey, here's how the pentacle works, right? Alphys was like, so there's the diamond, which is like these 4 orders together, and they are all like, oh, we're old school, we're from Atlantis. And then there's this 5th one called the Free Council that like
Yeah.
works with them, but it's sort of so that's also why it's like
they're kind of
they don't, because like they're not part of this like we're all from Atlantis and this is our niche. They're like, we are specifically the not those people guys.
Gotcha.
We were formed by the idea of we are not the old school traditionalists. We are the outsider progressives.
Which I do appreciate. That really appeals to me.
Every time I'm like, this is my I'll come around again.
That's
Good. I am glad that every time you're like, but these ones are cool too.
yeah. Like there's definite draw to most of them
Except
in
for the
some
Guardians.
ways.
They're just...
Well, there are even some things that Jamal would be interested in the Guardians, but overall it falls to the bottom of the list by comparison to some of the other things.
And they're fine with that because they're not trying to recruit you.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's fine.
You didn't make the short list.
Nope. But yeah,
I
like
don't think any of us made their short list.
just her.
Just her.
Yeah. And then
Am I?
they tried to like effectively set up a kidnapping to convince her somehow that they should join. Like, yeah, that's a great way to get your
We should have asked if there's a lot of women in the Guardians. Like, is this?
Are there a lot of living women in the
Just so you know, this method of actually like trying to recruit people, bad idea. Especially when you're recruiting women. Stupid.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so, unless you guys have more questions for the group, they will adjourn their after party.
Ooh, I finished my pancakes.
I mean, as long as you're eating, they keep bringing them.
And there's still not really anybody in the Denny's.
Like, there are a few people who come in. They don't sit close to you, but also, like, it's a Denny's, so, like,
Like teenagers were like,
It's
You
not-
don't sit close to anybody.
it's not late enough in the day for people to have been drunk and coming from the bar to eat, and it's not in the morning when they're hung over, so...
And it's not that sweet spot where all the old people come in.
Exactly. It's in that in-between time where, like, it's the lull.
Got it.
The early bird.
Maybe there's a table
special.
and folding the silverware into the napkins.
Yep.
Got it.
With Gall and Chopped, when Jamal would like do that like handshake, pump, pump, hug thing with both of them, and be like, "Man, y'all go run those pancakes off like you were born to run." Just like, hope y'all do real good at your next meet.
Alright, so you guys adjourn. Alpheus will sort of wait for you guys outside. And as you come out, Thenardier is talking with him. He sees you guys come out, he's like, it's alright, we'll finish this when we get back. And he waddles off to his car. The dude's like 350 or 400 pounds. He's a big boy.
Is his thing is it a nimbus or something where when you cast a spell is his you just have that stuck in your head?
It is now.
It's a very niche calling card.
So as you guys come out and Thenardier waddles off, Alfie's like, all right, I hope that was a better experience than the meeting.
It was.
It was.
It was.
Good call.
Very
Yeah.
informative. Very informative.
Good call.
Good getting out with folks too, it seems. Like.
These are especially your order and structure. Like these guys are a little more put together than some of the others.
Yeah, it feels like within the Free Council there are groups of people who get things done.
Yeah, it is a collection of individuals.
Yeah.
So there are more compared to the other orders. You get more cliques forming because of that. But it's also nice because like it's all informal, casual stuff, right? Like there's no official. This is where you like you can. It's fluid. You can move around in it and everything, however you want. You can focus on your own niche projects if you want.
It's like a farmer's market. Like technically everybody's under the umbrella of the farmer's market, but everybody's doing something.
Sure,
separate.
yeah. That I don't know that I would ever use that as an analogy, but yes, that does work.
The Free Council is a farmer's market.
I dig that. Yeah.
They do have
I've
like
seen
a
a
little
magic
more
show.
organization. Like we have something called the Lore House, where like we have sort of like we store all of like the magical lore we find and stuff, and members can get access to it for theoretically free. It's not usually how it actually works out, but technically it's supposed to be free.
So how does it usually work out?
There's one guy who runs the Lore House. It's on his property. He
Is it
organizes it.
Lorcan? Is it Lorcan?
No, Lorcan's not in the Free Council. He would hate it here.
Yeah, never mind.
He would think this was garbage. He likes pain. He doesn't like any of the rest of it.
Fair.
Um, so the guy who runs the Lore House, his name is Belfort. Theoretically, it is free. However, if you don't leave something... If you don't contribute to the Lore House or leave collateral, he can't find what you're looking for in the archaic, strange way that he organizes it, and only he knows how to find it. So it is technically free, but in practice, he has to feel like you have to make him feel like you are contributing to it in some way. It's not like necessarily predatory, but it is like if he feels like you're not contributing or like you piss him off too much, he just mysteriously can't find it, and he organizes it in such a way that if you're not him, there's no way you're going to understand
He is
where things are.
protective.
Yeah. But he also, does all the work of keeping the Lore House running. He provides the security for it. He does all the upkeep. He pays to keep the databases running in excess.
So it's kind of fair.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It can be annoying sometimes because the dude is sometimes an asshole. But when you take your shadow name from Wolf of Wall Street,
Okay.
I
now
expect a
understand.
certain level of assholery.
Honestly, I deal with charitable donors all the time. They're all kind of that same way.
Yeah.
You get used to assholes.
Yeah, so that's how we work. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if any of you decide you'd like to join us, just let me know.
It has been enlightening.
I'm glad.
More interested than I was after the meeting. We'll see.
Thank
Yeah.
you for the pancakes. I assume I did not pay.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for the pancakes.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, that was not me.
Oh, well,
Oh,
thank him. I should have
Thank
thought
whoever
I thanked him
paid
before.
for it.
the person that.
He wants
Was
me to
it
make him
Thenardier?
Whoever needs the gratification, thank them.
No, Pain pays for it.
Okay.
Not surprising.
You tell him that if you guys ever need like a proper spread, I'm in.
I will let him know. No, till next time, or the next time you guys have strange dreams. See ya.
See you later.
And he'll head off to his car.
Thanks, Alpheus.
Do we want to sit down and talk about all of the our own experiences, but our own thought processes on everything? Because
Also, like, we're gonna be a cabal, right?
I mean, I assume at this point.
We just kind of taken that as given.
Right, but nobody's said it.
Nobody's said
no
it.
one said it. No,
We've just
That's an
assumed
idea.
it.
I always
and
thought
I
it was
get you.
implied, but yeah.
You're like, I don't know if I want to hang out with you people.
That's a thing. That
And I
could
get it.
happen.
We probably should, say these things and not just assume.
Jamal actually
So-
laughs at your response. I mean, that's fair.
And it might not be a permanent thing. We might end up
Yeah,
going our
maybe,
separate ways.
but
But right now, we are
for
who we
now-
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna very, very casually just sort of glance around, make sure there's nobody listening in that I can see.
Now that you
It's
can see.
Nothing
Yeah.
else like we were
Given-
trauma bonded by the giant tentacle monster.
Yeah, given the giant tentacle monster that we've dealt with.
I'm just, remember Speed 2? No,
What?
Speed 1?
No,
Sandra Bullock
I
said about Keanu Reeves. She was like, relationships made under duress. I'm just saying.
Well, I
I
don't
have-
intend on dating any of you, so.
No.
Yeah, there's that.
I have not seen that movie you're referencing.
I don't even want to comment.
Do you know who Sandra Bullock is?
No,
On VHS.
He's like, I know who John Wayne is.
I know who John Wayne is, and anyone John Wayne has been associated with.
Still a lot of dead people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most
So-
of my entertainment is from people who are now dead.
Do you know what I want to do, you guys? I want to have, like, a good old-fashioned sleepover movie night where we introduce Loco to some culture.
Use the studio if you want. I got a projector.
There you go.
I'm just
I have
watching
a-
out IT.
I have
crowd.
a lot of room at my
Like,
place.
This is my house.
He probably has the most room.
What kind of TV you got?
Oh.
Is it this guy?
No, it's.
Is it
It has
this
a
guy?
No,
No,
it's fine. It's normal size. It has a dial.
No, I
remote.
well, no. Hold on. I'm gonna share a
Oh, no.
a
Be
link
like,
to you
no
guys
offense,
Oh, no.
but
on
the
my
last time I
what
went to your
what I
house-
imagine my trailer to look like, and you can imagine whatever TV would have come installed in it. So
I'm excited.
It's
Um,
like
hold
an
on, let
RV
me-
trailer
Most trailers
thing
don't
in.
come with
I was about to
TVs.
say, like, they don't.
No, that's
they
not
don't
true.
have
Some RVs do
installed.
come with
RVs do.
TVs.
My parents had and it's like up way
Yep.
above in the
Oh.
middle.
Yeah.
Yep, it's
Oh.
all
It just
built
depends
in.
on the specific model. Let's see. World of Darkness chat. Send. So
There you go.
it's just a link to what I imagine he has. Because you also have to remember, Zach did not spend a lot of money. He lived in a cabin his grandpa owned. So he had a lot of money. So as soon as he had to move
that is
from
a
his old
very
job,
nice
That's a
trailer.
nice trailer.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a
Ooh,
nice
okay.
it's cheaper than buying a house.
I
I mean,
know.
that would probably have a full,
It probably has a flat screen.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it actually says entertainment center on one of the pop-outs.
Yeah. So whatever would
But
have been
like the
installed
older
on that.
version of this, maybe?
So for those watching at home,
No, there is a flat screen in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
that's
those
what it
watching
says.
at home, if you want to look up what a 20, it says 2024, but I imagine that there is an older model that is similar to this. So like a 2024 Forest River RV Timberwolf 39DL.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
sort of the vibe his trailer looks like. So
Dude, you have a king bed?
I also have an upstairs that has decent room. If you look through some of the
Yeah.
pictures, it is.
I was like, that's actually a really nice RV.
Damn.
So you're watching your John Wayne movie on a great big.
Exactly.
I actually had to.
But
I
it's
had to
still
have
the truncated.
Yeah, the letterbox.
I feel like
No, letterbox is the other.
if we're
Yeah, I don't know what
we're
it is, but
renting
with the
like
big-
the downstairs of a place, it might be kind of big. Might be
Just
big enough.
imagine like you were somehow renting the downstairs of the house you live in.
Completely empty in a weird shape.
It's a weird shape. It's kind of cool though, and it's literally cool.
So, wherever we want to meet and talk about.
I guess it could be over at our place.
Our little studio? I mean, technically everyone will fit in there.
I just remember, in my brain, I'm still thinking like the RV that my parents rented.
No, that's fair, because only the two of you have seen my RV.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So in my
We
head, I'm
picked
like,
these two up after I got picked
I
up.
should qualify. I don't mean, when I say studio, no, I'm happy going wherever we decide. I did not mean my studio apartment. I meant the art studio.
Oh.
Like,
Oh.
there's
Are there people there?
I mean, it depends on when we decide to do this. Like right this second, maybe?
I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Oh,
but-
okay.
Yeah, I figured.
What
we
time
probably...
of day is it? It's low.
Evening.
Okay.
It's,
So
it's just heading into evening.
yeah, never mind. Okay, I thought we were planning ahead. Gotcha. No, somebody else is
I mean,
fine.
I'm good wherever.
Could use my studio apartment too, but I feel like
the
probably
last time I went to
somebody else
his
got
house, there was a kidnapping time.
Yeah, but
vortex.
what are the odds that it happens twice in a row?
Don't say
Now that you
that.
said it.
Don't say that.
That's why you're my favorite.
His house is out.
You get to be guaranteed to live through whatever happens next, Keith.
How does it feel to be God's favorite?
We could go to the studio, discuss.
Nobody's allergic to cats, right?
Not that I know of.
No. I mean, your cat basically was in the back seat during our
But I never even
mental
asked.
breakdown a couple days ago.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I ain't died yet.
Okay. I mean, we can go to our apartment.
Okay.
It's little and it's dumpy, but it's a place.
I mean, he does have a fair amount of space.
Yeah, but he does live a fair amount of time away.
It's also fair.
Ours is
For
a
future
more
reference.
central location for now.
That's true.
Whatever
That's true.
dumpy basement apartment we have.
Because
Is
apparently
central.
we don't want to go to my place. That's
Your
fine.
place is terrifying.
I am a little hesitant about going
Nothing
back to the
bad
house.
happened in my place. It was outside.
And if you guys had just not bothered looking out the window and listening to the screeching of tires, you wouldn't have even known.
we would have been living in bliss, ignorant bliss of the made
Ignorant
magical
bliss.
society.
Just saying.
Except
but
that monster would have ended up like eating half of the city by now. So you know,
We're
it's fine.
damn heroes is what we are.
Big
yeah,
damn heroes.
We
but
didn't
I'm
do
just
anything.
I'm just as glad that nobody knows it yet, because I have a feeling we would be on a lot more radars than
Yeah,
we are right
I
now.
am super good with not making that common
let's
knowledge.
yeah, let's not.
I'm okay with
So
that.
if we do go back to our little place we're renting, I do that thing where I dash out and run in and pick up anything that like needs to not be out. But like
Shove it all in another room, close the door.
closet, shove it.
So as you all head into their apartment, I think that is where we will leave it for this episode.
All right, sounds
Okay.
good. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I now have to find the right button. Where is it? There we go. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We will. We are going to take a break, and we will be back in just a few minutes for the next session. For you guys, it'll be about a month or so until this shows up. Just keep tabs on our Discord server, and you'll always know what we're putting out onto the Twitch channel any given week. There is a channel there that has its own pinned notification to let you guys know what the schedule is. Keep tabs on that. If you want to go back and rewatch something that has transpired before, be sure you check out our YouTube channel. Everything we do video-wise does wind up there. If you haven't already, do hit like and subscribe. Turn on your notifications. You'll always know when we put new stuff out. And we appreciate the support there on that side of things. That's going to do it for us here tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure that you tune in again next week. Until then, I don't know what our catchphrase is.
We don't have one, Keith.
Oh gosh.
Until then, we'll be torches in the dark.
Ooh, I like that.
Good night, everybody.